And if I had to be another person to stand up, if I think, after really going through this, and looking at the files and looking at the case, if I really feel that Karen Reed didn't do this and I have to be a voice that stands up and helps, I will.
We are expected to learn more about the allegations against the girlfriend of a Boston police officer who was found unresponsive in the snow Saturday morning. I-Team sources say Karen Reed was in a relationship with John O'Keefe. She's facing charges including motor vehicle homicide and manslaughter.
We're the only ones fighting for the truth of what happened to John O'Keefe. And me and my family and my attorneys and my team have marshaled every resource to get to the truth. It just feels like no one else wants it.
Now, just to be clear, you didn't do it.
We know who did it, Steve. We know. And we know who spearheaded this cover-up. You all know.
And no, she didn't do it. No, she didn't do it. This is an innocent woman. She didn't do it.
I tried to save his life.
Yeah.
I tried to save his life at 6 in the morning. I was covered in his blood. I was the only one trying to save his life.
Why'd you admit to it?
She didn't admit to it. She didn't admit to anything close to that. Nothing close to that. And you should know that.
That was like 3 or 4 times she admitted to it.
No, she didn't.
That's not true.
She asked a question. She asked a question, which is very different. She didn't admit to anything.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Karen Reed's not going to fold. Karen Reed's not going to give up. Defense team's not going to quit. The Free Karen Reed movement is going to continue. We will continue to raise funds for her. We will continue to do standouts across Massachusetts, across the nation, across the world to let everybody know what's going on here in the state of Massachusetts, the corruption. And we will continue to get the word out there. Believe me. Believe me. All right, everybody, what's going on? It is LTL Friday Night Heat. Welcome in, everybody, and we're going to go through this spicy testimony over this last week. I hope everybody's having a lovely Friday. It is Memorial Day weekend, and I hope that everybody has an awesome weekend. I'm looking forward to my Sunday and Monday off of some rest and relaxation, but it's Friday night. It is Friday, and thank God it's Friday. And I don't know. What do I got to say here? What do I have to say here? Well, I'm a little under the weather. I have a little bit of a sore throat. That's been kind of kicking the last couple of days here. But I don't know. I don't know what the hell it's going to turn into. I hope it doesn't turn into anything. But I did feel a little miserable today. I'm feeling a little bit better right now. But I don't know. Is this shit going back around again? I'm tired of it. I was sick the first of the year, like mega sick, mega sick. And I don't feel like going through it again. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of all these sick people around me getting me sick. I'm done with it. I'm over with it. I'm done. But other than that, I decided 2 weeks ago to get my fat ass on a scale because I haven't weighed myself in a while. I've been kind of abusing myself with food lately. And I weighed myself. And for the first time since I was 20 years old, I weighed 235 pounds. So I said, that's going to change. So I have cleaned up my diet. I stopped drinking. Oh, I love Diet Cokes. Stop drinking Diet Cokes. Stop eating all the unnecessary sugar. I'm eating very, very clean. Chicken, broccoli, rice, just clean. And in 2 weeks, I've dropped 8 pounds. I feel great. And I still got about another 15 pounds to go. So I like goals. I like, tracking and accomplishing stuff. And at 47 years old, I can't be carrying around 235 pounds. So I need to get back to the ideal weight. I will do it. I will win. I'm feeling already a lot better. I've already seen my pant size and my waist size go down. One already. I got to go out this weekend and buy some new jeans. So I'm feeling good. But all right. Well, let's get into this tonight. Again, it's LTL Friday Night Heat here on LTL Media. It's nice to see everybody here. Make sure to smash the like button when you come in. And we're going to get rolling here with Shanon with one N. I love how Alessi starts this off. It's just so good. And he's just trolling him hard. And You spell it Shannon with one N, right? Oh, I love it. Anyway, listen, anything you can do it. Just set a goal and go for it. You have to just do it. We only live once in this life. And I am doing what I've been wanting to do my entire life. And it is possible. It is possible. Goals are possible. Start a goal and fucking go for it. You can do it. You can do it. All right, let's get into Shanon. We're going to run through this testimony. Shanon with one N. I love this. Alessi fucking trolls him right away. And it is brilliant. It is so brilliant the way he kicks this off. And I have a lot of energy here today, and I'm ready to go. Heather said she's loving the tomato. Yes, he turns into the human tomato. But we got a lot to go through here. We're going to go through. We're going to have some fun tonight and watch Alessi shred Shanon. All right, let's get started here into this testimony. Let's do it.
Spell your first name, Shanon, with one N. Do I have that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You describe yourself as a digital forensic examiner, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
You use the term forensics often in your analysis.
Yes, I do.
And would you agree that generally the accepted definition of forensics is something that relates to, that's used in, and is suitable for a court of law?
Yes, I would.
And so when you're working in forensics, even in your office, you understand that eventually it's very likely that whatever work you're working on is going to end up or could end up in a court of law, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned in your direct examination the scientific method, right?
Correct.
And I was pleased to hear mention of the scientific method. And I just want to cover some principles.
That's another troll right there. He trolls him so hard in this. Shanon, you spell it Shanon with one N, right? I love it. I love it. All right, let's go.
With regard to the scientific method. But before I do, I just want to see how forensics envelopes in certain items.
S.J. Howard, is it that bad? Is it that bad? Is that how slow it is today that you've been watching Dr. Pimple Popper? But I'm glad that you're here. Let's get away from the pimples for tonight. All right, let's go.
Forensics applies scientific methods and principles to legal matters, particularly in criminal investigations, right?
Correct.
It's a fair statement.
Yes.
Thank you.
Aaron Cam.
And forensics are used to help lawyers in their preparation, correct?
Yes, that'd be correct.
And it's used to help judges in courts of law.
Yes, that is correct.
And it's also used to help juries and jurors to understand the results of scientific tests, correct?
Correct.
So you know, and you have to presume that as you are performing your analysis, as I stated earlier, that this information is going to end up in a court of law.
Correct.
And then does that heighten sort of the analysis that you need to do and the sharpness and the accuracy, given that it's going to end up in that form?
It can, depending on context.
He's warning him right now. I mean, Alessi's already warning him. He's like, you know that this testimony can end up in a court of law. And then he's setting him up. And now we're going to get into the resume. You sure you want to go on? Because this is going to go into a court of law. Here we go.
And is the primary goal of forensic science to uncover the truth and to provide objective evidence that can be presented in a court?
Yes, it is.
Would you generally agree that the work of forensic science, including the work that you do, is intended to be used in court because scientific evidence can be very powerful, and therefore the forensic science must be accurate?
Correct.
It must be methodical.
Correct.
There must be a
Jessica Lynn kicking off with the gifted membership. One gifted membership. So welcome in, new member. Welcome in, new member. I appreciate you being here. We got Mazza Media checking. I got to do a show with Mazza. I have another buddy. Hey, buddy. We got to do a show together. It's been a while. I need to get you back on here on LTL, buddy. We're going to set something up here pretty soon. He said, decided to have meatballs tonight instead of the BLT or wings. Buddy, we got to get a show going. It's been too long. All right, here we go, man.
method, right?
Right.
It must be detailed.
Yes,
And above all, it must be unbiased and truthful, correct?
that is correct.
And all of this, is it fair to say, distills down to reliability?
Correct.
And reliability is a desired characteristic of the forensic scientist.
Yes.
You want people to be able to rely upon your work.
Yes.
And credibility and honesty is part of reliability, and it's a fundamental component of that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
You've stated that you hold your opinions to a reasonable degree of scientific certainty. You said that several times on direct, correct?
Correct.
And because the discipline of forensics involves the application of the scientific method, as you stated on direct, you therefore, of course, applied the scientific method throughout your analysis, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Would you agree with the following statement of the scientific method? And tell me whether, well, let me start with, you understand, you know, the National Institute of Standards and Technology, NIST?
Yes, I am familiar. Yeah.
And would you agree with a definition of the scientific method as the systematic pursuit of knowledge involving the recognition and definition of a problem, the collection of data through observation and experimentation, analysis of the data, the formulation, evaluation, and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis? I know there's a lot there, and if you'd like me to break any of it down, you let me know.
No, I find that generally acceptable. Yep.
And I wanted to emphasize the end, the evaluation and testing of hypotheses, and where possible, the selection of a final hypothesis. You understand what I'm meaning by hypotheses?
Yes, I do.
The science.
He's insulting him again because he knows he doesn't have the bachelor's degree. Ah, I love it. Oh, I love this. I just love him. I love Alessi. He's the best. He's just smoking this guy right now. He doesn't realize it. All right, here we go.
Scientific method is used, among other reasons, is it not, to avoid certain biases in the science process, correct?
Heather, which is 17-month member. Thank you, Heather. She says, you ever watch the DUI guy? His videos, EPs on him. Yes, I have watched him. He's great. He's been on a couple of shows. I should try to get him on here. I'm going to talk to him. Peter Tragos, I've been trying to get that guy on my show for 3 years. I've sent email after email after email. He just doesn't respond to me. I reached out to Emily D. Baker, believe it or not, about 6 months ago. I didn't think I was going to get anything back. And actually, her booker reached back out to me. She was very nice and just said that Emily is very, very busy, but let's stay in touch. I thought it was nice that she actually reached back out to me and said, hey, you know, like, listen, we appreciate it. She's really busy, but maybe we can do something down the road. But that was kind of cool. So anyway, here we go.
Yes, that's
Right.
correct.
So the method is trying to prevent a scientist, not cultural.
Peter, if you're watching, come do my show, damn it. I want to get you on. I want to get you on my show. Trying to get you on my show. I've tweeted at you. I've written emails. 3 years I've been trying to get him on. Maybe it'll happen someday. Anyway, all right, here we go.
Bias, but scientific bias, correct?
Correct.
Do you know what the American Academy of Forensic Scientists refer to as cognitive biases in science, generally?
No, I do not.
Have you heard of the
Brooke, $5 says, let's help him reach that goal. Free Karen Reed. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love Peter's work. I'm just trying to get him on my show. All right, let's go.
term confirmation bias?
Yes, I have heard of that term.
Have you heard of the term anchor bias in the scientific method?
I have not heard that term.
Let's start with confirmation bias. Is a fair definition, and you said you're generally familiar with that, right?
Yes, correct.
So let's start with that. That's the practice of sort of selectively gathering and interpreting evidence to confirm the scientist's belief or a belief of another, and at the same time neglecting evidence that contradicts them. Is that a fair definition of confirmation bias?
Yes.
And an example of confirmation bias is not considering alternative hypotheses once an initial hypothesis has been selected even though the data and other information might contradict the initial hypothesis. Fair statement?
Yes, that's a fair statement.
And confirmation bias, although sometimes it occurs, is intellectually and analytically antithetical to, it's opposing of the scientific method, correct?
Correct, yes.
And it's to be avoided.
Right.
Anchor bias is, and I know you said you didn't recall it, but let me see if this triggers a recollection. If not, fair enough.
Okay.
Anchor bias is when you prioritize information and data that supports your initial impression of the evidence, even where the impressions are incorrect or it's unknown when the impression is incorrect. You sort of anchor into that. Does that sound like a reasonable definition of anchor bias?
Yes, that sounds reasonable.
So biases are to be avoided in the application of scientific matters and methods because they can lead to incorrect conclusions in science, right?
Right.
And even though they're to be avoided, you called this case a homicide. Oops. Even before you began your alleged scientific testing, isn't that?
So basically setting him up. And I talked about this with Todd and Nan on the show. This guy took the end result and worked backwards. And this was really familiar. And I've talked about this in the Netflix series, The Staircase, where they had a guy named Dwayne Deaver. He was a CSI, worked in CSI for the Durham Police Department, Durham, North Carolina. And Michael Peterson was on trial for murdering his wife. Well, he took the end result and did experiments and kept repeating the experiment and repeating the experiment and repeating it until he got the result he wanted. And they only showed those portions of the film. If you've ever seen The Staircase, ultimately this guy has lied multiple times and put tons of innocent people behind bars for the state, and ultimately ended up getting discredited. And I'm not sure if he had any criminal fallout from that, but I urge everybody, watch The Staircase. It's taking the end result and working backwards. You're not supposed to do that in science. You're supposed to hypothesize and then test a theory to see if it works out. And that's essentially what Alessi was talking with Shanon in the beginning of this. So yes, confirmation bias, absolutely. Taking the end result, taking select information and working backwards. You're not supposed to do that in science. You work forward to get the end result. All right. Let's go back to testimony. Here we go.
I don't recall. Where would I have called it a homicide?
Do you recall your January 30th, 2025 report that you prepared in this case?
Yes, I do.
On Netflix.
Do you have it with you?
Staircase.
I do.
Can you turn to page 4, footnote 3, please?
Yes.
Footnote, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Listen, if your hair is that bad, just shave your head. You'll look so much better. I mean, what are you trying to hold on to here? Seriously, what? I mean, the hair that's in the front of their head is grasping on for dear life. Just let it go. Shave it. Shave your head, dude. You'd look so much better. It's okay. Just, oh my God. It's like worse than Homer Simpson hair.
Is page 4, footnote 3. And in page 4, footnote 3, it states, I'm sorry, sir, are you there?
Yes, I am sorry.
It says evidence reviewed by the defense counsel Ray O'Keefe, MV homicide. Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Now, you assumed in the very beginning that Miss Reed had hit Mr. O'Keefe with her car before you began the scientific testing that you had discussed in your direct.
No, that would be incorrect.
But you did list homicide down in footnote 3, correct?
Yes, I did.
And so this report's drafted January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
And the testing, I'll just give you a snapshot. Some of the testing you discussed with Mr. Brennan, that testing didn't occur until after this trial started, correct? Some of the testing you described in direct?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, so that testing didn't even occur in the trial. Just assume the trial started at April 22nd. So the testing you described when you were talking about aligning clocks and GPS, that occurred after April 22nd, correct?
Correct. It did.
Now let's go on to another topic. Let's talk about professional credentials. You know what I mean by the term credentials?
Yes, I do.
Oh boy, look at his body language change. Oh boy. Watch his arm come in. Here we go.
Another topic. Let's talk about professional credentials. You know what I mean by the term credentials?
Yes, I do.
Oh boy.
Professional credentials are important in any profession, correct?
Correct.
And they're important in
Norman Corey, $5. Thank you. He says, do you think that Shanon knew his day was going to end horribly when he woke up that morning? He never saw Alessi coming. What's my thought on this? I personally don't think that I personally don't think the Commonwealth vetted this guy correctly or vetted him enough. 2, I don't think that they thought the defense would dig this deep. And I think they underestimated the defense on this one. And they got this guy dead to rights. They got him hard, dude. And this guy's going to turn into a human tomato here pretty soon. All right, let's go.
In your forensic examiner profession as well.
Correct.
Your forensic scientists and examiners are no different than any other professional that credentials are important. And your profession requires you to provide curriculum vitae.
Now, this is where he's starting to have that out-of-body experience. You know, when you feel like you're in an oh shit situation and you feel like your soul is hovering over your body, that's the look you get. That is the look you get right there. That is the look that you get when your soul is hovering above your body, looking down on you. And it's going to continue, and it's going to get bad for this guy.
Laying out your education, training, and background, correct?
Correct.
And it's imperative, is it not, that the information that is disseminated about your professional credentials are absolutely truthful, right?
Yes, they should be.
Uh-oh.
You say they should be. Let's continue on with that topic. You understand what's meant by the term ethics, right, generally?
Yes. Yes.
And civil ethics mandate that one is truthful about their professional credentials, correct?
Correct.
And a fundamental credential is what type of college degree you hold, correct?
Correct.
People rely on those credentials, and the credentials are the foundation of your expert opinions in analyses, correct?
They can be. Yes.
They can be, and they often are, correct?
Yes, they can be depending on context.
But more often than not, they're important.
Yes, again, depending on context.
You know that not only your colleagues, but your clients, your firm clients, courts, and juries will rely on your CV and your credentials in order to make determinations about whether you're qualified to testify and your depth of your qualifications, correct?
Correct.
You provided the Commonwealth, the defense, and the court with your CV in this case, correct?
Correct.
If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I will get my first exhibits.
Oh, this is not going to be good. He's like, oh shit. Oh, by the way, let's see the channel right now. The channel is only 80 new subscribers away from hitting 44,000. Maybe we can make that happen tonight. So the best thing to do is keep smashing that like button, and let's get some new people in here to discover the LTL experience.
Yes.
The carrying cam.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Now, the thing that's really, I'm kind of annoyed, and I haven't watched it on WCV. I haven't watched it on WBZ, The thing that I don't like about this is that camera is directly at that defense table. They have a lip reader. You know, they can have someone reading the lips of the defense, what they're talking about. I don't like that. I think it's a little unfair. You can clearly see Anetti talking to Karen
Your Honor,
there.
if I could have this marked as the next exhibit
For identification?
for identification at this point.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'm going to have it, we're going to be eventually offering it into evidence, so.
Okay.
And present it to the witness.
So let's mark it for identification first.
Yep, okay.
Exhibit TT for identification.
Okay.
May I present it to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess,
Yes.
I am presenting you with exhibit.
TT for identification.
I was, thank you, Your Honor. I'm learning not to talk while I'm walking backwards so Madam Court Reporter can hear me. So I'm presenting you with what is exhibit TT for identification. Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And what is that document?
So this document appears to be my CV.
May I approach further?
Yes.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
And is that CV a document that you have prepared?
Yes, so that is a document that either I have prepared or the company after has prepared.
And is that a fair and accurate document?
It appears to be.
Your Honor, I offer that into evidence.
Any objections, Mr. Brennan?
No, thank you.
Yes.
And if you could just,
This guy's, I'm going to tell you, this guy's feeling it right now. You know, it's talking about that out-of-body experience, that oh shit moment when panic comes over you, the adrenaline is running, and you feel like your soul leaves your body. That's it right here. He knows it's coming.
if you want to have the witness hold that I have some
Hold on,
questions.
let's let it mark
Yes,
first.
yep.
He's like, oh, fuck.
180 degrees.
Look at the lefty. He's going to smoke this guy.
Thank you.
So Jess has not been able to get in court, and we're gonna have her on next Wednesday. She hasn't been feeling good. I haven't been feeling good. I think that there's some things running through her house right now, so everybody's sick in her whole house. She's been writing a lot about it on X, and next Wednesday when she comes on, we're gonna discuss that in detail. Because it's been extremely frustrating. And you know lately that I've been going after John DePietro. Why is John DePietro getting in part of this supposed randomizer? He's been in there like 80% of the time. Jess and Aiden have only been in there 20% of the time. You can't tell me that there's not any bias there. You think they're actually running a randomizer? I think it's complete bullshit. And then what Court TV is doing, Court TV is getting in on there too, and they're just taking up a seat. They're not even sending anybody in. So we're going to get fully into that next Wednesday. So after the Memorial Day, when she comes back on, we're going to talk about that. But it's bullshit. It's complete bullshit. And she's furious, and I'm furious about it. Because, you know, you look at John DePietro. John DePietro's been walking in during sidebars, 10:30 in the morning. He sits down. He takes his time. He's not there. He's not present when court is starting. And if you had Aiden or Jess in that courtroom, you know, they would be there on time, respectively, capturing what's going on inside the courtroom for all of us to hear. And this guy just moseys in when he wants to. He's fucking lying. I caught him in a flat out lie the other day during Dr. Wolf's testimony. I'm like, dude, you're lying. I have that video up on my channel. If you haven't seen it, go back and check it out. But let's get back into testimony here. Yeah, Ted Daniel hasn't even been in there. Ted Daniel hasn't even been able to get in there. It's bullshit. All right, here we go.
Mr. Burgess, you have in front of you your CV that we just spoke about, and I'd ask you please to draw your attention to the education section where underneath in red it says BGS, and then do I read it correctly? it says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama Birmingham, Alabama currently pursuing. Did I read that correctly?
You did read that correctly.
Thank you, sir. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Like this mark is the next for
Yeah,
identification.
and I'm going to tell you this too. Fox News needs to do a retraction as well too, because they have put out there, they have also put out there that Dr. Wolf testified to frozen hard ground. He did not say that. Brennan tried inserting it in. He said hard ground, cold hard ground, and then there was an objection by Alessi, and it was sustained because he tried slipping it in. But there was never in any of that testimony, that he said frozen hard ground. Never said it once. And then what Brennan tried doing is, because he knew he couldn't get the frozen in, he couldn't get cold in, he goes, well, you're from Minnesota, right? And you guys get cold weather and snowstorms out there, right? I'm sure that you've talked to some people that have slipped and fallen and hit their head on some ice, right? So that's where he tried being cagey and sneaky with the jury. So go back and watch that video. It's on my channel. I break down Dr. Wolf's testimony, and I give John DePietro hell in it. And that the video's been doing great. I have, I think, over like 25,000 views on it already. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. All right, here we go.
If you really want me to talk like Brennan, I can talk like Brennan. Were you there on the night in question?
Oh, that fucking guy. All right, here we go.
Sure.
Do you think it's possible?
I can't do it now.
Do you think it's possible that John could have fallen back and hit his head on the frozen hard ground?
I have a sore throat, so it doesn't sound as good.
May I hand it to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to actually have a mark for identification first.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Lally sounds like Hannibal Lecter. I've always thought he sounded like Hannibal Lecter.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
That's what I always thought Lally sounded like.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burgess, it's been marked. The document is Exhibit UU for identification. Could you please tell me if you recognize that?
Yes, I do recognize that.
And sir, please describe briefly what that is.
Sure. So it is a CV as well.
Thank you. Yep. I would offer it into evidence at this time, Your Honor.
This shit's going into evidence, too.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Exhibit 184.
And I love this lawyering tactic right now because he hasn't created any distance to Shanon. He's right on him. He's right near that witness box. He's putting the heat, the fucking heat, and you can see it on the side of Shannon's face right now. Alessi is given the heat, and he's going to stay right there and ask him these questions. No space to breathe. All right, here we go.
Thank you. I present it back to the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burgess, once you've had a fair opportunity to look at that, I have a question, and that question is simple. Is that your April 2025 CV?
Let me see.
I call it a lesson.
Yes, it appears to be.
Thank you. And when you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, when you can just pick your head up, sir, to let me know you're ready. I don't want to rush you, but then I have some questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So in those two exhibits, your two CVs in front of you, am I correct that the first one is November 2024 and the second one is April 2025?
Let me see. Yes, that appears to be correct.
And
Hold off. The Russian metalhead $2 says Shanon Burgess equals Ned Petty in Deliverance. Oh God. Wheat. Squeal like a pig for me. Squeal like a pig. Wheat.
In both of those CVs, you indicate that you have not yet earned a bachelor's degree.
That is correct.
And you certainly have not earned a Bachelor of Science degree in any educational field, according to those two CVs, right?
Correct.
And in fact, as you sit here today, you do not possess any bachelor's degree.
Correct.
And the
Well,
reason,
life got in the
as
way.
you state, is because
Life and family got in the way.
that bachelor's degree is currently pending. That's the term you use.
So I use currently pursuing.
Currently pursuing, yes. So you have a public profile that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's in the form of a biography page.
So what's happening is now you've now discredited Shanon, and now you're going to discredit Aperture because they're the company. They're the company that's been hired by the Commonwealth to look in to this tech stream data, and you've now discredited. You're going to discredit both of them. Oh,
Yes, I believe so.
And that biography page has your education listed.
Very possible. Yes.
he's like, oh fuck.
May I approach your own?
Yes.
If I could have this marked, please, and once Mr. Brennan reviews it.
Jay. Excuse me.
Thank you. Your Honor, may I have this marked as next identification in order?
Okay.
Thank you.
Mary.
80 Friday.
May I hand it to the witness?
Yes.
Now, Mr. Burgess, giving you Exhibit DV for identification.
Okay.
You recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
And indeed, that is the bio page that's published on Aperture's website, correct?
That is what it appears to be. Yes.
Now, I would like you, sir,
Let's talk about
turn
it.
to page 2 of that document.
Okay.
And I'd like to turn your focus to the bottom of education heading. It states, am I correct, sir, BS, Mathematics, and Business Administration. Is that correct?
It does state that. Yes.
And there is no qualification that's currently pending. It states BS in Mathematics and Business Administration, correct?
That's what it states there. Yes.
And you do not have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, do you?
No, I do not.
Had to repeat it twice already. That's awesome. The first 20 minutes of this testimony. The Goodmans checking in. One gifted membership. Thank you so much. You're always so ever kind. I appreciate that. All right, let's get back to the being Alessi'd, the Alessiation.
And if you click on the hyperlink for your CV on that same website, do you know where that hyperlink takes you?
No, I do not.
To any member of the public reading this, including prosecutor, a defense attorney, a judge, or a jury, that represents that you received your Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, does it not? Objection.
That's the same.
Now, if you continue on to your photograph, are you familiar with Aperture's website that speaks about you and presents you generally?
Vaguely, yes.
Are you aware that Aperture has...
So real quick, just going to get this out of the way. S.J. Howard asking, how do you gift memberships? I think you have to be on a desktop. And if you go to the very bottom, and maybe the Goodmans can clear this up for me. You have to go to the bottom. You'll see the $sign, and I think you click on that, and it can give you gifted memberships. I think you have to be on a desktop, though. I don't know. Maybe someone could clear that up in the chat. But that's how you gift them. So, all right, let's go.
Two hyperlinks, one that says CV and one says LinkedIn. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am now.
And LinkedIn is a professional networking platform designed for career and business professionals to connect, share content, find jobs, etc. Is that a fair description of LinkedIn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you, Norman. Appreciate that.
And could we also conclude that it's a professional networking platform, especially for private sector firms like Aperture, that's used to attract clients or potential clients?
Thank you.
Yes, correct.
And potential clients include, for example, the Commonwealth of the state of Massachusetts, correct?
Correct.
And indeed, the Commonwealth is no longer, if you will, an attracted client, but it's an actual client of Aperture and you, correct?
Correct.
And that's the status of the relationship here. Aperture is a client of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts in this case, right?
Correct.
So is it fair to say that your CV, especially when it's published on a LinkedIn or published on a website,
Audrey, thank you for gifting 1 membership. I appreciate that.
is something that is published to intend to have, especially if you're in the private sector, have clients view and retain your services? That's a hope and an expectation, correct?
Yes, that is part of it.
I'm going to pause this again. Mama Jammy, $5. Thank you so much. Said, notice how Shanon starts saying no, and he shakes his head yes every time. I'm gonna look for that. I'm gonna look for that. Thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate that. All right, here we go.
Now, when you look at that document, when you click on, if you were to be in your office, and let's see if you're familiar with this, you click on your LinkedIn on Aperture's page, that would ordinarily take you directly to your professional LinkedIn account, correct? Isn't that what the links are there for?
Yes, I would expect so.
Are you notified when someone electronically accesses your LinkedIn account?
Not accesses, no. Are you referring to viewing?
Yes, that's a better for viewing. Yes.
Yes.
So you're notified. Were you notified within the last 72 hours that someone from the defense accessed your publicly available or viewed your publicly available LinkedIn account?
No, I was not aware.
Are you aware that within the last 72 hours, that hyperlink on Aperture's official website was disabled?
No, I was not aware.
Are you aware that now if you try to go on that link, that you can't, that it's disabled?
No, I'm not aware of that.
Do you know whether anyone from Aperture directed someone within Aperture to disable your LinkedIn account within the last 72 hours?
No, I'm not.
Coffee Cake checking 4-month membership. Thank you so much. Aperture website, they updated his education. Yes, I pulled the website up the other night on my live show, and they did. They took out his bachelor's in science. I think they just said it's let's take a look. Let's see. I listen, I know a lot of people like, oh, he's fired, he's going to get fired. They're not going to fire him in the middle of a criminal trial. Just not going to happen. The guy will probably get fired afterwards. Education. Yeah, they took out his bachelor's in science. Oh man, this guy's got it coming to him after this. Yeah. He's got it coming to him. All right, let's get back on topic here. We'll go back to the testimony. Again, this is what we do on Friday nights. We go through the spicy testimony. The spicy testimony. If you want to watch the testimony without my commentary, you can seek out this video and watch it on your own. But that's what we do here. That's what we do on Friday night. We bring the heat. We watch the spicy testimony from over the week. The most spiciest. Goodman's $5. Hit the $ next to the chat, and you can gift a membership or super chat. Super chats are great. I love super chats. Please, everyone, do it and like and sub. It's so worth it. Thank you so much, Goodmans. I appreciate that, and I always appreciate you being in the chat and gifting memberships. It's a nice thing to bring the community in and do those members only lives and kind of hang out and relax. So it's good. Good stuff. All right, here we go.
Have you spoken to anybody at Aperture about your LinkedIn account?
No, I have not.
Yep. Your Honor, I'd like to move VB into evidence at this time, please.
Okay, any objection?
I can see it. It's
This one.
this one.
Oh, that's it's
No
from the Aperture website. You see that? There's the printout right there.
Exhibit 185.
We are done with those, so if I could ask those back to you.
Absolutely.
Your Honor, could I have please the next one marked for identification of this case?
Yes.
Thank
Tomato Man. Mr. Tomato Head.
WW.
I don't know why that just cracked me up. But Norman Corey, $5 super chat. Thank you. He says they also took off Chafee, which is computer hacking certification. Oh, interesting. Tomato Head. I made that thumbnail and I was cracking up. Y'all saw the thumbnail I made, right? The tomato head. I love it. So
May I
fun.
present to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess, I presented to you what is marked as Exhibit WW for identification. I'd ask that you take a look at it, take a fair amount of time, and then if you could, sir, pick your head up so I could see that you're ready.
Sure.
Oh my God. Put your head up so we don't see your awful hair. Just shave your head, bro. I'll do it for you.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
Yes, it appears to be a screenshot of my LinkedIn account.
Your Honor, I offer that into evidence.
Oh shit. That's the oh shit moment.
Okay.
Right. Can I see you at sidebar with these?
May I approach your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Burgess, I am presenting to you what has been marked as Exhibit.
Oh, do you see that smile by Burgess? Watch the smile. He's like, get away from me. Watch when Alessi gets up. Watch Shannon's face. Get away from me. I mean, how are you sitting there on the other side and you're literally watching this? You're literally watching a Commonwealth expert. I mean, it's not hard to figure out. He's getting absolutely 100% eviscerated right now about his credentials. And these are the people you want to roll with. Okay. I mean, you don't see worried faces on that side. I mean, look at the O'Keefe side. Look at all their faces.
May I approach your Honor?
Yes.
Thank
Touch the face.
you. Burgess,
Oh,
I am
yeah, here he comes
presenting
again.
to you what has been marked as Exhibit WW for identification. That is that a fair and accurate representation of your personal LinkedIn page? You could take a moment to take a look at it.
Sure.
Mr. Alessi, we actually step back so all the jurors can see
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
And right back up there, keeping the pressure on. I love this.
Yes, it does with a error on page 2 regarding education.
Right, and we're going to get to that.
Sure.
But this is you recognize this as a fair and accurate depiction of your personal LinkedIn page with the exception of what you just mentioned, correct?
Correct.
Did you draft that document that's represented as Exhibit WW?
I have drafted that over time, yes.
And when was the last time you viewed that document on your LinkedIn page?
I don't typically view the profile page, so it would have been, I could not tell you how long it's been.
Do you have any reason to believe that that exhibit WW is not on your LinkedIn page online as we sit here today?
No, I don't.
Your Honor, I move exhibit WW into evidence.
No objection.
To mark it for the next exhibit, please.
Exhibit 186.
Thank you.
I would like to turn your attention to your personal, the printout of your personal LinkedIn page and go right to the second page, bottom. And under education, it says University of Alabama at Birmingham. It's got a little UAB acronym there. And it says Bachelor of Science, paren, B period, S period, comma, Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation, 2016-2018. Do you see that, sir?
Now this is the degree that doesn't exist, right? Am I right on this one? This is the degree that doesn't exist.
Yes, I do.
That's not correct, is it?
No, it's not correct.
And you do not hold ABS in a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham, do you?
I do not. And that would have been at that time an expected graduation date?
So it would be expected, you state.
Correct.
It would be another word for, is it another word currently pursuing? Is that similar to expecting?
Sure, that could be similar.
But you know how to put currently pursuing down, don't you, sir? Because you did it on the first few CVs, but you don't have it on your LinkedIn page. Am I correct?
Correct. That's probably because obviously that has not been updated in quite some time.
And you said you get notifications when people access your LinkedIn page, correct?
I get selective notifications when people view my LinkedIn page.
So you know people are looking at your LinkedIn page, you know people are looking at your education, and you have down here 2016 to 2018. So that time period is 7 years old from 2018, yet you use the 2016 to 2018 on your LinkedIn page, correct?
Correct. With the caveat that my understanding is people look at your post, not specifically the profile information.
Oh, so you believe you know apparently when people are looking at it and what they look at?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying generally.
Generally.
Correct.
But you don't know who's looking at the education section on your LinkedIn page.
Wait a minute. He just said that. Wait a minute. So he just said that generally when people go look at a LinkedIn profile, and this is his opinion, that they look at your posts and not your actual profile information itself. Sorry, that's bullshit. Because even when I go to LinkedIn and I click on there, I want to read who this person is, what company they work for, and what other companies have they worked for, and then I want to look at their education. It's all right there in the profile. That is complete bullshit. I mean, you've all been on LinkedIn probably a million times when you have a prospective, job or employer or boss. You go to their profile and you scan through it. You want to know about their education. What are their prior work situations? Maybe where they live. Where the company is that they work for. I mean, that's crazy.
In relying upon what is represented here, that you have a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Scientific Computation from the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
Not from the LinkedIn page. Yeah, just independently of the LinkedIn page, yes.
And as you sit here today, that page is still live on your LinkedIn, correct?
Correct.
So a key aspect of your credentials, whether or not you have obtained a Bachelor of Science, is incorrect in more than one document that I presented here today, correct?
No, I would not agree with that.
Well, it's incorrect in this one, correct?
Correct.
And the one previously to that, there's two documents that have you listed this LinkedIn, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. So there's two documents, is there not, sir? There's, may I? Sure. Thank you. And I report if I can have the previous one in evidence. So if you could hold that, this one, sir, and I'm going to get that like good from you. Thank you.
Can you imagine when the defense looked this over and figured it all out? It must have been like a kid in a candy store. They're like, holy shit, we're going to blast this guy. We're going to turn him into paper mache.
And Exhibit 185, that's in evidence, if you can turn to the second page. So if you look at each of those state that you have a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. So there are two documents about your credentials that are inaccurate, correct?
Yes, they have errors. Yes, that is correct.
May I have those back, sir?
Yep, both.
Yes, please.
Yes, there you go.
Thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I have the next document marked for identification at this point. You have this marked as the next for identification.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is it XX right here?
You hand it to the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Thank you. Handing the witness Exhibit XX for identification. Do you recognize that document, sir?
So it appears to be a CV. Yes.
You say it appears to be a CV. Can you describe that any further?
Yes. So it's a copy of my CV.
Is that a CV you prepared, sir?
It would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end.
Sorry, it would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
Yourself or Aperture?
Correct.
But you had, at a minimum.
Oh, I love how Alessi snuck that in. He heard him. He just wanted him to repeat it. He heard what he said. He just wanted him to repeat it. Here we go. Let's play that again. Watch that little tactic he slides in there, because now he's going to hang Aperture on this. So he's just hung him on his CV, lying on two potential documents and websites in his LinkedIn account. Now he's going to nail Aperture here. And I love how he asks him again. He wants it very clear for the record.
Sir?
It would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the end.
Sorry, it would have been prepared by myself or Aperture. Yes.
Yourself or Aperture?
Correct.
But you had, at a minimum, a role in preparing that, did you not?
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, and you would have reviewed that because it's about you before it would have been used by Aperture, correct?
More than likely, yes.
You wouldn't let somebody put a CV up and out to the public without you reviewing it, would you, sir?
So there are other staff members that do review and update CVs.
But you're the only one who's going to know whether what's on it is accurate or not, correct?
Unless I explain that to them, yes.
So either way, either you prepared it yourself or you interacted with somebody and explained it and collaborated with them to make sure it was right to the best of your ability, correct?
Correct.
Juanita, thank you so much for becoming a new YouTube member. We love our members. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. All right, let's go.
If you can look at the highlighted portion, sir, under education.
There's no highlight. Well, I understand what you're talking about. There's no highlighted portion.
I'm sorry. Let's strike that. If you look under education, the first line, it says in the right underneath BGS. Do you see that, sir?
I do, yes.
And then to the right, it says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, University of Alabama - Birmingham, Alabama, 2022. Did I read that correct?
Yes, you did.
And up in the upper left-hand corner, there's a photograph.
Yes, there is.
Is that you, sir, in the photograph?
Yes, it is.
And in the spelling of your name, Shanon, that's with one N, correct?
Correct, yes.
And so that is not only you in the photograph, that's the spelling of your name with one N, correct?
Correct.
And that's the correct spelling of your first name with one N, correct?
Yes, it
So
is.
that's definitely you represented in this document, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Now let's look at the first line that relates to education. It states Bachelors of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration, correct?
That is what it states, yes.
And the date is 2022, correct?
Correct.
So this document represents that you received your bachelor's of general science in mathematics and business administration in 2022, correct?
That is what it states, but there are a number of errors in that. Yes.
Correct. So let's go on. So this is the third example. Am I correct, sir? Well, let me, may I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I offer Exhibit XX into evidence.
No objection.
Andy with one end. I love it.
Sir, is Exhibit 187 a CV that is linked directly from Aperture's website?
I do not know. I would have to look and check that.
So as you sit here today, you are not able to state whether that CD is linked directly from Aperture's website.
Correct.
So this is a third example of a document that incorrectly states that you have a Bachelor of Science when you do not possess that degree, correct?
It has errors or outdated information. Correct.
Well, when you say outdated, how is it that you can call a date outdated next to something that you don't possess?
I don't understand your question.
Well, you just used the phrase either incorrect or outdated. I'm trying to understand your statement that it's
Sure. So
outdated. Isn't it either you have a Bachelor of Science degree or you don't? Is it?
I have represented I do not have a bachelor's degree.
Correct. But in here, it's represented that you do, correct?
Yes, it is
All
an
right.
error. Yes.
So are you?
How is that an error? You fucking lied, dude. You lied. And you're trying to save yourself on the stand right now. Oh, it was an error. It's not an error. You fucking lied. It's like plagiarizing something. You fucking did it. Like, dude, it's like stealing a cookie out of the cookie jar and you got the cookie crumbs all over your mouth and your mom goes, "Did you steal the cookie?" And you go, "No, I didn't steal it." Yeah, you did. You got cookie crumbs all over you. I mean, how do you dude, you have cookie all over your face, bro. And it's, I don't know, it's a red velvet cookie because you're red. The Goodmans, $5 says, this is how you super chat. You can always ask Will the Glare. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate the 5. All right, let's keep moving on here.
Let's look at what the name is that are on these documents. It says Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration. Do you see that, sir?
I do.
Are you aware that there's no degree at the University of Alabama, Birmingham, called a Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration?
Yes, I am, and that is one of the errors I identified.
So you would agree that there's not even a degree called Bachelor of General Science in Mathematics and Business Administration offered at the University of Alabama, correct?
Correct. That should be Bachelor of General Studies with minor in Mathematics and Business Administration.
And what you just articulated, you do not possess as you sit here today, correct?
That is correct.
What you possess is an associate's degree, correct?
Correct.
And when did you obtain that associate's degree?
So that would have been 2015.
Are you familiar with the term mendacity?
I am not.
You will be now.
Are you familiar with a CV of 2015?
No, I'm not.
Jay makes a great point. He says, hey, if you're going to pretend to have a degree for a university, at least make sure they have that degree. I agree. I love that. Oh my God. It is the best, right, Mizzy? It is the best. And he's about a shade away from being a full tomato right now. Tomato head.
Yes.
God, this is so disastrous. He knows it. He's like, I'm fucked.
Your Honor, may I have this marked as the next exhibit for identification, please?
Yes.
Kind of would be, right? Right, Chai? You kind of would be out of a movie. Boston Brandy, thank you so much for becoming a new YouTube member. I appreciate it. Oh, man. This guy is getting lit. Just lit up. I think his hair is tinting red. I mean, look at his feet. Look at Alessi next to this guy. I mean, Robert is just skin tone, and this guy looks like he stepped out of a frying pan. I mean, he looked like he stepped out of a tanning booth and had one side of his face to the bulbs. Gosh.
Thank you.
Do you recognize that document, sir?
No, I do not recognize this document.
You will.
May I put your hand?
Yes.
Sure.
Do you recall ever pursuing, may I stand here and ask some questions, Your Honor?
Okay.
Thank
Did he see the document as well, or do you have a copy for him?
He can see it as well, Your Honor.
Okay.
That
I was just
restaurant
wondering.
again.
Yeah, sure.
And just step back.
Yes,
just to
yep. Sir, do you recall when you started pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree of any kind?
Sure, I do. Around 2008.
So you started pursuing a Bachelor of Science for the first time in 2008, correct?
Correct.
If I did the math correctly, sir, you've been pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree for 17 years, correct?
That is correct.
They just publicly shame this guy on worldwide TV. Oh my God. Oh my God. He just literally publicly shamed this guy while life and family got in the way. Val Gal, thank you so much. $20. She says, I love watching your show and thank you for all that you do. Yeah, this is Fridays. This is what we do on Friday. We have a little fun here and watch the spicy testimony from over the week. I can't right now. This is too good. Ken says 17 years later. This is a good comparison too. In 17 years as a human birth senior in high school. Oh, man. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Happy there's no voir dire on him. Yeah, we just got him up and had him testify. Wow. Oh, God. 3 more years, that'll be 20. That's 2 decades. 17 years is half a career. Oh, God. Oh, it's so good. All right, here we go.
And you have not obtained it as you sit here today.
That is correct.
And yet there are the various documents that we've seen that state that you have obtained the Bachelor of Science, correct?
Again, with errors or misinterpretation. Yes.
Errors or misinterpretation that are you stating
before?
But you would agree those errors or misinterpretation have been in existence for some time, correct?
Yes, I'm being made aware of them now. Yes.
Yeah, and they haven't been corrected for some time, correct?
Correct.
You work for insurance companies, correct?
I do
Oh,
work for
this is not
insurance
good.
companies in addition to law firms. Yes.
But you work for insurance companies, correct?
Yes, sometimes. Yes.
Well, you state that right in your report in this case, don't you, sir? That you work for insurance companies?
Again, I do work for insurance companies. Yes.
And what role do you play in working for insurance companies? You working for them, or are you working for the policyholders that have paid premiums or are making a claim to try to get money from an insurance company? Which role do you have? Gotcha.
I'll allow that.
So I work for the insurance company themselves.
And in your work for the insurance company, has any of that work related to denying claims to insureds? Objection.
Why don't I see you on this, Mr. Alessi?
Sure. Mayor, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Are you familiar with the phrase academic dishonesty?
Oh boy.
Yes, I am.
Let's talk about your work on this case. In October of 2024, the Commonwealth hired you to perform a new data acquisition from the infotainment and telematics system of Ms. Reed's Lexus SUV, correct?
That is correct.
And in your October 10, 2024 report, you outlined a proposal for attempting to extract additional data from the telematics and
In 17 years, you possibly could have 4 degrees. Just put that into perspective. In 17 years, you could achieve 4 different degrees if it was just a 4-year degree. I mean, pretty close. You'd have like 3.5 degrees. Oh,
infotainment modules, correct?
Correct. With the caveat, it's not a report. It is a proposed protocol.
So we'll call it a proposal. In that proposal, you explained why, in your opinion, you believed an additional data acquisition was necessary based on your words, education, training, and background, correct?
That is correct.
Compared to your proposal, you had access to the manufacturing specifications of the chips in question, correct?
I did.
You were under no critical deadlines to get the work done, correct?
Correct.
In your initial October 10, 2024 report, you explained that you believe the data acquisition was incomplete because, in your opinion, based on your education, again, your words, training, and experience, the download of the acquisition was less than the chip's storage capacity, correct?
That is correct.
And converting megabytes, B-Y-T-E-S, to megabits, B-I-T-S, and gigabytes to gigabits is a basic digital forensic concept. And that concept's critical to successful data acquisition and analysis.
he just trolled him again. Bits and bytes. He just trolled him again. Oh, I love this. Oh, Alessi's just tearing this guy up.
Fair statement.
I would say that's a fair statement.
In your initial report, you stated that the December 2023 data acquisition was from the Spansion clip, S-P-A-N-S-I-O-N, from the infotainment model was incomplete because the acquisition was only 8 megabytes in size, even though the chip has a storage capacity of 64 megabytes, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And that's your October 10, 2024 report, correct?
Protocol.
I'm sorry, was it proposal or protocol?
Protocol.
Protocol?
It is a protocol.
We'll use protocol. And you blame this on the, quote, programmer's inability to fully read the component, close quote, correct?
Correct.
In point of fact, the manufacturing specifications establish that the total flash memory component of the chips in question is equal to 64 megabits, not 64 megabytes, correct?
That is correct.
64 megabits is 8 megabytes, correct?
That is correct.
That means the Spansion chip was not incomplete, correct?
Correct.
The acquisition was the same data size as the total memory storage capacity of the chip, correct?
Correct.
Your protocol for data acquisition was based on a misunderstanding of megabits versus megabytes, correct?
It was based on a working theory and a misinterpretation, yes.
And that was your misinterpretation.
Yes, it was.
You mentioned Ms. Gaffney in your direct testimony. Do you recall that, sir?
Yes, I do.
She successfully acquired 8 megabytes of data from that Spansion chip during the December 2023 chip off, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And that wasn't your only conversion mistake in your October 10, 2024 report, was it?
I'm not aware of any others.
You stated in your report that the data acquisition of the Micron JWB57.
Yeah, I got the second camera hooked up. I'm gonna get the third one hooked up again too. Well, actually, the third one stays permanent because that's the wide angle shot for when I have everybody come in live, so I don't have to keep moving that camera. But these two cameras, they're pretty modular. I can move them around. The other one has to be anchored in kind of in that spot because it's kind of a pain to get that into focus and stuff. But the two cameras, yeah, I got the front facing, and then we do the side camera. And what I did was I worked on it the other day with the I have a camera switcher. So this you can't see it, but there's a little box here, and it does camera switching for me, and I automated it now. So it gives, just a different angle. It's cool. I like it. And it kind of, breaks up the show a little bit instead of the front steady shot all the time. But it's pretty cool. All right, let's get back to Manchin.
Was incomplete because the acquisition was only 540 MB in size, but the storage capacity was 4 GB, and that's stated in your October 10, 2024 report, correct?
Protocol, yes, correct.
The Micron JWB57 chip is 4 gigabits flash memory component, not a 4 gigabyte flash memory component, as you incorrectly stated in your protocol.
That is correct.
Oh, thank you.
So contrary to your assertion in the report, 4 gigabits is equal to 50 megabytes, which suggests that all the available data was successfully retrieved from this chip during the first acquisition by Ms. Gaffney, correct?
Correct.
So Ms. Gaffney was not in error on that. She did not make a mistake on that, correct?
Not on that specific thing, yes.
Right. It was you that simply misunderstood the difference between gigabits and gigabytes, correct?
Misinterpreted. I would not say misunderstood.
You misinterpreted the difference between gigabits and gigabytes.
Correct. At that
You
time,
got
yes.
that wrong in layperson's terms.
Ooh.
Correct. I did make an error.
You stated in your report that Mike.
You're only looking at data and interpreting it in a murder trial. I would think that you would want to get all of that right, correct? I mean, it's only someone's life that's on the line, and it's almost someone's life that we're trying to figure out what went on. I think it's pretty important to get all of that correct. Holy smokes.
And I'm going to have to give an alphanumeric number because I know in digital forensics it's important to be precise and accurate. So bear with me, sir.
Oh,
you stated in your report that the Micron 29F2G08 ABAEA is a 2 gigabyte chip, and that the acquisition should have been 2 gigabytes, but was incomplete because it was only 264 MB in size, correct?
That is correct.
And the Micron, and I'm
do you
just...
think this guy shit in his pants? Do you think he shit in his pants up there? I think maybe he's like, his butt cheeks clenched up like he's holding it the whole time. You think so? I think so. He probably was just all...
just going to refer back to the number to not repeat it. The long alphanumeric number is a 2 gigabit flash memory component, not a 2 gigabyte flash memory component, as you incorrectly stated in your protocol, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So 2 gigabytes is equal to 250 megabytes, correct?
Correct.
And that suggests that all available data was successfully retrieved during the first acquisition by Ms. Gaffney, correct?
From those chips, yes.
From those chips.
Correct.
I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Your opinion was again incorrect and was based on a misunderstanding of gigabits and gigabytes, correct?
A misinterpretation, correct.
A misinterpretation in layperson's terms. You got that wrong also.
That was an error, yes.
Did you have that protocol peer reviewed, sir?
No, I did not.
Was it peer reviewed by anybody at Aperture?
No, it was not.
Did you have a supervisor review that protocol before you filed it with the court?
No, sir.
You submitted your proposal based on your education, background, and experience, correct?
Correct.
Turns out that the entire foundation of your proposal was based on a fundamental misinterpretation of the difference between a computer bit and a computer byte, correct?
No, not the entire thing, no.
Well, certainly a part of it was, correct, sir?
Correct, partial.
You got conversions wrong with respect to analyzing 3 different chips, correct?
Correct.
And since you wrote that, Have you learned the difference between a bit and a byte?
I've always known the difference between a bit and a byte. Yes.
You learned that in this case from reading the affidavit of an expert for the defense who pointed out those errors before you submitted your supplemental report. Isn't that correct?
I would have to go back and look at the timing on that. I believe I submitted the supplemental before the protocol from the other expert.
Are you certain of that?
I'm not certain of that.
Isn't it?
They had no choice. They had no choice. It's like Trooper Paul. They had no choice. They needed a guy. They needed a guy. They had no choice. They had to roll with it. They knew they were going to get stumped on this and stuffed on it, and then they had to try to clean this up on redirect. And then I love how Brennan's redirect is after this too. Does it even matter that if you don't have a degree that what did he say? If you don't have a degree, can you still be an expert? Really? Really? That's like me saying, oh, I'm a fucking brain surgeon. I'm a brain surgeon, everybody. Yeah, I'm a brain surgeon. Hi. Yeah, I do surgeries all day long. I'm a brain surgeon. No, I'm not a brain surgeon. I don't have a degree in it. I've never went to school for it.
Case that the expert for the defense submitted his affidavit before you submitted your supplemental report?
Bill Gates thing too, yeah.
Do you know that?
I do not know that.
You don't know it one way or another.
Trying to say, oh, well, they don't have degrees, and they had successful businesses, and they're experts.
Correct.
I think it matters in a murder trial if you're credible and you have credible credentials, right? We're not talking about Bill Gates. We're not talking about Steve Jobs. We're talking about a murder investigation, a trial that's going on right now. And you're saying that you're a credible witness that can testify to something that's very important in this case.
And that person that I referred to for the defense is Matthew DeSogra. You know that name?
I do.
And you have read Mr. DeSogra's affidavit in this case, have you not, sir?
I have, yes.
And you would agree that he pointed out these misinterpretations of yours in his affidavit, correct?
Correct.
I would like to go back to your January 30th, 2025 report. May I have a moment, Your Honor, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Am I correct that you indicated that at the time of this, quote, incident, Burla did not offer support for the infotainment and telematics modules removed from the Lexus, but have since released updated software according to similar modules that are supported by in-vehicle acquisition?
That is correct.
And the infotainment module that was removed from Ms. Reed's Lexus is consistent with the MMU. You know what I'm referring to in the MMU?
Right.
It's consistent with the MMU documented by Burla and has been identified as containing an internal micro SD card not acquired during the initial chip-off acquisition by Mrs. Gaffney. You remember that statement in the report, sir?
I do, yes.
You obtained no additional information from the chips that were already analyzed by Ms. Gaffney, did you?
Correct.
Correct that you obtained no additional information, right?
No data of value from those chips, yes.
No data of value. So all the data of value, Ms. Gaffney had already obtained from those chips, correct?
That's kind of a confusing question. So there was no data of value from those chips to begin with.
Fair enough.
Right.
So Ms. Gaffney didn't miss anything of value.
Correct.
Fair?
Correct.
Do you know how much the Commonwealth has paid Aperture to date for doing the work in this case?
I do not.
Do you have any involvement at all in knowing what the contract is between Aperture and the Commonwealth?
I do not.
Have you ever had any discussions with any colleagues from Aperture with regard to how much Aperture has been paid in this case?
No, I have not.
Do you have an estimation as to how much Aperture has been paid in this case?
Not off the top of my head, I do not.
You've never had any discussion with anybody at Aperture about the fees Aperture has charged the Commonwealth in this case?
No, I have not.
Who in Aperture is in charge of knowing how much fees Aperture has charged the Commonwealth?
That would be the accounting department,
Would Dr. Judson Welcher know?
potentially.
Ooh.
Your analysis, I want to move on to another category, sir. Your analysis in this case was not strictly limited to data and science, was it?
No, it was strictly limited to data and science.
The Commonwealth requested that you review numerous materials in connection with your analysis in this case, correct?
I did review materials, yes.
You did not review the January 29, 2022 CARS report by, well, let me put it this way. Did you review the January 29, 2022 CARS report prepared by Trooper Paul?
No, I did not.
Do you know what a CARS report is?
I do not.
Do you know that a CARS report was prepared by Trooper Paul for this case?
No, I do not.
If there was a collision analysis and reconstruction report prepared by a trooper in that case, would you want to see a document such as that?
No, not for my analysis.
Would somebody at Aperture want to see that document?
Objection.
I'll reword. Are you familiar with collision analysis and reconstruction reports prepared by law enforcement agencies?
I am vaguely familiar, yes.
Vaguely familiar? Have you ever used one in your analysis at all?
I have seen them, yes.
You've seen them. And my question is, seeing them, have you ever read any of them?
Yes, I have read them, yes.
Have you ever considered a collision analysis and reconstruction report as part of the work that you do at Aperture?
Not specifically a collision analysis report from law enforcement. We do routinely see crash reports, but I think what you're referring to is something else.
He's lying here. He's totally lying here.
Are you aware of a supplemental collision analysis and reconstruction report of Trooper Paul of the Massachusetts State Police dated July 24, 2024?
No, I'm not.
Do you know whether Trooper Paul is part of the Massachusetts State Police reconstruction team?
I do not.
And lastly, do you know whether he's part of the reconstruction team in this case?
I do not.
Did anybody tell you to avoid reviewing a collision analysis and reconstruction report in this case?
No, they did not.
You did, however, review the 2024 testimony of Trooper Nicholas Garino in the proceeding of last year, didn't you?
I did for specific data, yes.
So that's not really science and data, is it? It's testimony.
Yes, it is testimony.
So you did review materials in this case beyond science and data, correct? You reviewed testimony.
Sure, that is common, yes.
Having reviewed Trooper Garino's testimony, you therefore are aware of the theory that he proposed in the first proceeding, correct? It was in his testimony?
Objection.
I'll allow that.
I'm not. So specifically, I reviewed Trooper Garino's testimony for information related to the infotainment and telematics modules.
So did you read all of the testimony?
No, I would have skimmed it.
You would have skimmed the testimony?
Correct.
And how would you, and what would be the purpose to just skim it?
Sure. So I'm only interested in the information related to the infotainment and telematics modules.
So you just, I want to make sure I have this right. So you would skim it, you would look for what you want to focus on, and you, as you sit here today, you don't have any recollection of what the theory of the Commonwealth was in the first proceeding?
Not from that testimony, no.
Do you recall Trooper Garino as part of what you reviewed? So you reviewed certain things of Trooper Garino in his testimony, correct?
Correct.
And in your direct testimony, you testified extensively about the iPhone of John O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
And you looked at and testified about a lot of information from the phone of John O'Keefe. Is that a fair statement?
Location data.
Location data. Did you read, therefore, Trooper Garino's claim that the last...
Objection. So why don't I see it side by find out what's going on?
Sure.
Chairs, we're just waiting a minute for something before we can proceed. Feel free to stand up and stretch if you'd like. I'm trying to do this without having to step out of the courtroom. Mr. Alessi, is there anything we can go to and come back? If there's not, there's not.
I would like to see it. We've got another.
Thank you.
Approach, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you. May I have this marked as the next exhibit for identification, please, Your Honor?
Yes.
No worries.
Sir, I'm handing you what has been marked as Exhibit ZZ for identification. Ask you to take a moment to look at it, please. When you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, if you could pick your head up, sir, and I'll proceed at that time. So this yes or no, that would be great. Does it contain location, data, information? Attention.
I'll allow that without pursuing
That's
it.
the only one I have for that purpose.
Okay.
Does it, sir?
Yes, it does.
Did you consider this part of Trooper Garino's testimony in any review that you've done in this case?
No, I did not.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
On December, we're going to move on now to another topic, sir. On December 5th, 2024, Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully, you know that name, sir?
Yes, I do.
How do you know that name?
So he is the one who hand delivered the infotainment and telematics module to our office in South Lake.
Exactly, sir. He delivered the infotainment module containing the SD card that you talked about on direct examination, so that you could attempt to reinstall it in Miss Reed's vehicle for an in-vehicle acquisition attempt, correct?
That was part of it, yes.
That was part of it.
Correct.
That day, you initially attempted an in-vehicle acquisition, meaning you reconnected the infotainment module to the faceplate in Miss Reed's vehicle and reinstalled both the infotainment and the telematics module for an in-vehicle unlock and acquisition, correct?
That was an attempt, yes, on December 7th, for clarification.
And that was on December 7th.
Correct.
And that was December 7th of 2024.
Correct.
You conducted this same testing on an exemplar vehicle. And to be clear, exemplar was a vehicle that Aperture had purchased.
Yes, that is a vehicle that Aperture has purchased.
So Aperture purchased it. And it's a vehicle, as I understand, you testified, that's similar to the vehicle of Miss Reed, correct?
Correct.
And so you call it an exemplar because it's similar to the vehicle in question, correct?
Correct.
Emily checking in. Thanks for taking the time to do a show tonight. I appreciate it. Look forward to all the new content. Thank you so much. You know, the Karen Reed case here on the LTL Media Channel has been, you know, the primary focus for pretty close to a year and a half. You know, been pretty invested in this case. And, you know, we're going to go to conclusion. We'll have to see what happens at the end, how the jury votes. But you can always rest assured, I will support Karen through and through until she is found innocent. So if this is another mistrial, we will continue to support Karen in every way. Or if Karen is exonerated and she goes on with her life like we all want her to do, I will be there through all of that. But there will be a time where things will change and I will start talking about other content. I have, you know, I'm very heavily invested in the Idaho 4 case. I have well over 300 videos on my channel about that. That is a case that I will be going back to and discussing. That case will start in August. If that trial starts, it will be in August. I'm possibly trying to take a trip out for a couple days to hopefully get in and around the courthouse. But, you know, the channel will continue to change and evolve, and we will talk about new cases and do new things here, and have new guests on the show. And, you know, that's what I'm working towards. But right now, you know, we are very heavily centrally focused around this case because it's very important. It's very, very important. And I've had some pretty amazing opportunities. I've been able to sit in court behind the defense team in trial 1, and I've been there for trial 2. I've had many opportunities to meet Karen and had conversations with her, and been able to go to fundraiser events and help. So like I said, you know, we're just very invested in this trial right now. It's very important. It's very, very important. So yeah, I have done stuff on the Brian Walsh case. I have videos up about the Brian Walsh case. You can find them here on my channel. It was funny. I was just talking to my good friend Todd McGee this evening, and we actually started talking about the Brian Walsh case. So that is a case that I will be going back to as well. Okay, let's go back to trial testimony. Thank you all for joining me here tonight on this edition of Friday Night Heat. What we do here on Friday nights is find the spiciest, hottest testimony of the week, and we play through. Juanita, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. All right, let's go.
Right. So I'm going to continue using your parlance of exemplar vehicle. Sure. And so you conducted this same testing on the exemplar vehicle and successfully reinstalled and tested the infotainment and telematics systems for an in-vehicle unlock and acquisition, correct?
For an in-vehicle acquisition, not for an unlock.
Okay, so for just an in-vehicle acquisition.
Correct.
I appreciate the correction, sir.
Christine, thank you so much for the $5 on Venmo. I appreciate that. I have a treat for you guys next week on Wednesday. You're really going to want to tune into the channel because I got some treat. I have a treat for you all. I'm going to have Jess Machado back here on the channel, but during the day, I will be doing something, and I will share that all with you. And then Monday, we have the weekly wind-up with Todd McGee and Nan Gallagher, and I can't wait to do that show. And we'll have Jess back on Wednesday. We're going to talk about all the bullshit going on in court. So Juanita says, I love your passion for justice. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. And all right, here we go. Back to.
But in this case, with Miss Reed's actual Lexus, you were unable to successfully reinstall and test the infotainment and telematics systems, correct?
Correct.
On Miss Reed's Lexus, you were able to get the infotainment backlight and faceplate to illuminate, but in your own words, the infotainment system did not respond as expected, correct?
Correct.
What?
So instead, you took the micro SD card itself and attempted to retrieve data from that card directly, correct?
Correct.
Lexus locks
Yep.
cards. in
They
its system,
sure
correct?
do.
It does, yes.
If Lexus thought it was appropriate to access those cards, do you know whether or not they would have them unlocked? You know.
I do not know.
Now,
I'm going to let the answers.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to cover a basic question.
I actually know a lot about chip locking in cars because I have modified many of my cars over the years, and I have owned quite a few BMWs over my career. I used to modify them, and I know about chip locking because inside your car, and I know just for BMW they call it a DME, and that is basically the computer that runs your car. It runs all the components. And in tuning, when you want to add more horsepower to your car, you tune the DME. Well, you have to unlock it first because it's locked. They don't normally allow you to go in there and just start fudging with everything. So you have to get a program or a company that builds a software, and they're able to go in and you unlock the DME because I want to change the components of it. I want to change the electronics to say, add more fuel or add more spark or whatever it may be. And that way you can tune the engine and add more horsepower to it. So locking, unlocking the DME gives you that capability. And I know a lot about it. I've been doing it, I don't know, tuning my Beamers for like 10 years. So I know a lot about it. But anyway, let's go back to trial testimony.
Do you have any citation to any scientific literature where specifically what you did on this Lexus model has ever done before? Has it ever been done before, you know?
No, not on this specific model, which is why we did the exemplar testing.
Right. So there's no scientific literature that states that the methodology that you used with this Lexus model is an appropriate methodology at all, correct?
There's literature that addresses the methodology in other ways, but not specific to this Lexus, correct?
So Shai probably knows, you probably know about this, unlocking the DME, the chip, to get into it and add a new program to it.
There's no literature
They had to do in this case
at all stating that the methodology that you use for this Lexus is the appropriate methodology to use for this Lexus model, correct?
There's no literature about this appropriate Lexus model, correct?
Let's talk about your initial report of January 30th of 2025. You issued your initial analysis and report on January 30th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
Your report included a general timeline analysis. You used that phrase, timeline analysis, that you stated could impact, quote, event reconstruction. Do I have that right? Your January 30th, 2025 report does not discuss a collision, does it?
No, not in my report, no.
As a matter of fact, your January 30th, 2025 report doesn't even use the word collision, does it?
Correct, because I'm looking at data from the infotainment and telematics module.
But the report of January 30th, 2025 does not even contain the word collision in it, correct?
I believe it does in the background portion, which would be on page 2 or 3, which would just be restating the, if you mind if I can look at my report?
Oh, please.
Sure. No, so I apologize. The word that was used was incident.
Right.
Correct.
But you don't use the word collision at all in your January 30th, 2025 report.
That is correct.
I appreciate you checking that, sir.
That's big. That's big.
Also, and please keep your report handy,
Sure.
Your January 30th, 2025 report does not in any way detail the timing of what you now call a text stream event at all, correct?
No, it does not.
So in your January 30th, 2025 report, you refer to it as an incident, and in your May 8th report, you refer to it as a text stream event, correct?
That would be referring to two different things.
Right. But did you use the parlance text stream event at all in your January 30th, 2025 report?
No, I did not.
But you're using it now, correct?
Correct.
And we're talking about the same event, right?
Correct.
In fact, your analysis and conclusions were limited in your January 30th, 2025 report to generally identifying a clock skew between Mr. O'Keefe's phone and Ms. Reed's infotainment system, correct?
That is correct.
On January 30th, 2025, you engaged in no further analysis to determine whether precisely the 1162.2 text stream event that you now call it occurred, correct?
Correct.
Why not?
I was not asked to at that time. I was just asked to look at the general timeline and consistency of the timestamps.
So back in January 30th, 2025, you were not asked to engage in analysis to determine when precisely the 1162-2 text stream event occurred. Is that fair?
That is fair, and that is based on the common concept that a lot of cases that we work, there is clock skew, but we do not have events to precisely determine what that clock skew is.
Understood. So wasn't your goal, however, on January 30th, 2025, to determine the correct timeline of events relative to this incident? Wasn't that your goal?
It was my goal to determine the data from the infotainment and telematics modules that were missed in the initial download and create a timeline and consistency of those timestamps.
So your goal was to create a timeline, correct?
Correct.
And that timeline, among other uses.
Brenda S. $5 says, have you mentioned Mike's defense fund? I joined late. I have not. I think that probably the best thing to do is to get on Mike's channel and he can discuss all of that. Or if he posts it up on X, that's his business that he's going through right now. I haven't looked at it or read about it. I heard about it, but I haven't been able to research it and look at it. But if anybody wants to find out about Mike's defense fund, I would say go to the Young Jerks channel and check it out. So we're going to move on with testimony here.
Was to be for your colleague, Dr. Judson Welcher, to use that in his analysis, correct?
That is correct.
So you knew not only what your purpose was, but you knew what your work was going to be used for by Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Well, I knew it was going to be provided, yes.
Well, you knew it was going to be provided. Have you ever talked to Judson Welcher, your colleague, about this case at all?
I have vaguely, yes.
How many times have you talked to him?
I would count a handful of times.
And just give me a general idea of the nature of the discussions between you and Dr. Welcher. You're both working on the same, quote, incident, right?
Sure, yes.
What would have been the nature of those discussions?
So those discussions would have been identifying what I found on the infotainment and telematics modules and discussing, explaining that data to Dr. Welcher.
So did Dr. Welcher ever tell you, your colleague, why he wanted to use that data for his purposes?
For reconstructing a timeline.
And for reconstructing a timeline and picking a time for what you now call a text stream event, correct? You knew that's what he was doing.
Correct, for a timeline, yes.
Right, so you knew that for the 1162-2 text stream event, he was going to use your analysis back in January of 2025 to try to pinpoint that text stream event 1162-2, correct?
That is correct.
You knew that.
Yes.
And you know that he used that data to select a specific range for that text stream 1162-2 text stream event, correct?
I don't know if select would be the right. I understand what you're saying. Yes.
What term would you use?
Sure. So based on the data, he's identifying the time approximately when that event would have occurred.
And that text stream event, that 1162-2, is what Aperture is contending is a time of a collision. Is that correct?
Ooh.
That's sustained on that. Ask it differently, Mr. Ness.
Do you know the purpose of the 1162-2 text stream event in the analysis performed by your firm?
No, Dr. Welcher, I do not.
So you performed your analysis in all these timelines that you talked about on Direct without knowing what Dr. Welcher was going to do with that data?
No, so sorry, I misspoke. So it would be to timeline the time and date, or to put a time and date with when that text stream trigger would have occurred.
Exactly.
Right.
Ooh.
So you knew what the purpose was of your work with regard to.
And this is what I talked about. Working backwards, taking the result and working it backwards to see if it's going to line up and work. You don't do that with science, with data. You don't take the data and work backwards. You do the work up front to see if you get that result. Exactly, Christy. Backpedalers. It's exactly what they did here. They took the end result and they tried to work backwards You don't do that.
To Dr. Welcher's work.
Correct.
And isn't Dr. Welcher's work on the 1162-1
Right, Caroline.
and the
you did.
1162-2 text stream event an important aspect of the work of Aperture in this case?
Yes, it is.
Did anybody from the Commonwealth ask you in your January 30th, 2020-25 report to not discuss your work in connection with the text stream 1162-1 and the 1162-2 events?
No.
But you didn't discuss that, meaning the 1162-1 and 1162-2 events in your first report in January 30th, did you?
That was not part of my report. Correct.
But you did delve into that, and pretty heavily, in your May 8th report, correct?
Correct.
So when I answer the shy is asking, would Karen Reed be able to sue all? She has her civil lawyers, her civil attorneys sitting in court. They've been there. I actually got to meet one of them 3 Wednesdays ago, and I apologize if you get his name, but she is getting her civil suit together. Yes. So she is getting her civil suit because I sat in 3 Wednesdays ago, and I got to have lunch with the Reed team and talk to the lawyers. So it is in the work.
And you delved into that pretty heavily in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
So after the trial, do you know the trial started around April 22nd in this case?
Yes,
Generally?
yes, generally.
So let's do the timeline on this. January 30th, 2025, you prepare your initial report, correct?
Correct.
In that initial report, you mentioned nothing about text stream event 1162-1, correct?
Correct.
In that report, you mentioned nothing about text stream event 1162-2, correct?
Correct.
The trial starts April 22nd, correct?
Correct.
Roughly.
Generally.
No, the trial in this case, this trial about April 22nd, after the trial starts and after witnesses, of course, are appearing,
Here it is.
you prepare another report, correct?
Correct.
And that's your May 8th report,
Correct.
right in the middle of this trial.
Correct.
Here it is. Here's the backpedaling.
And right in the middle of this trial, you enlarge the number for the 21 to 29 range. That's bigger than what was in your first report, correct?
No, that is not correct.
Well, you changed the number, don't you?
No, I did not change the number.
Well, let's go back to see exactly what you did, sir.
Sure.
Let's
Real quick, let me just get this in before I forget. Emily, thank you so much for the $25 in Cash App. She says, thank you for all your content from Arizona and Free Karen Reed. Thank you so, so much. All right, here we go.
start with the basics. You said on direct examination, sir, that you prepared your May 8th report on your. Yeah, those were your words on your direct testimony, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to read the first line of your May 8th, 2025 report.
Get smoked here.
Do you have it in front of you, sir?
I did. Yes.
It starts, Dear Mr. Brennan. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Pursuant to your request. That's the request you're referring to, Mr. Brennan, correct?
Correct.
I have completed an additional analysis concerning the above referenced matter. To formulate opinions, the following additional items were reviewed. This wasn't done on your initiative. You put in writing you did it at the request of Mr. Brennan. Which is it?
So that was on my own initiative. This is a holdover, so a copy and paste from my original report.
You're explaining the May 8th report in your language pursuant to your request as a cut and paste from a previous report?
Yes, I am.
Do you cut and paste important information from one report to the other without checking it for accuracy?
I copy and paste certain portions.
Do you ever review what you cut and paste to see if it's accurate?
Yes.
You didn't review it this time, though, did you, sir?
No, I did not think it was significant.
Oh, you don't think it's significant, sir, that the matter is in the middle of a trial and there's a request for a new report after testimonies occurred in that trial? You don't think that's important?
Objection.
Sustained.
That's exactly my point here about credentials and this guy being credible. You don't think that it's important for this guy to be credible and be held to his credentials in a fucking murder trial? I mean, this is you're gambling with people's lives here. Karen Reed could be sent to prison for the rest of her life. If we don't get the correct results, we'll never have justice for John O'Keefe. This is sick. This is absolutely sick. And this guy should be ashamed when he walks out of this courtroom. He should have been ashamed when he walked out of this courtroom. He should have tucked his fucking tail between his legs and went back to Texas or wherever the fuck he's from. And never work in this industry ever again. Because you've misled a lot of people and you lied. And you're playing with people's lives here. See, people like this have no shame. And that's why I went back and talked about Dwayne Deaver, what he did to Michael Peterson. He fabricated evidence. People like that have no conscience. They have no shame. They do it for the glory. They do it for, I did something. I put that person behind bars for X amount of years. I don't care if they're innocent. I just want that trophy on my wall. The big murder case. I helped put them away. I fabricated things to put them away. This is brutal.
Why did you prepare the new report then?
Sure. So there was a claim from a PowerPoint presentation by Mr. DeSogra of trying to adjust clock syncs or making clock adjustments based on the synchronization of certain events. That was produced in March. Upon reviewing that, my initial thoughts were to address that in testimony. But as I was preparing for trial, I made the decision that it needed to be better addressed in a supplemental report.
But you understand that the report that you're referring to, that's the report of Mr. Soger, correct?
It is a presentation of Mr. DeSogra.
It's correct. A presentation. You understand his presentation merely was responding to the work that you did, correct?
No, that's not correct.
So your belief is that Mr. DeSoger's report didn't address at all what you had done?
Partially, yes, but no.
Okay, but let's cover the basics. You
Sure.
agree that Mr. DeSogra addressed, at least in part, the work that you had done?
He tried to address, yes.
Right. So do you know the date of Mr. DeSoger's report as March 5th? Does that sound right to you?
Yes, that's what
So
I said.
you had Mr. DeSogra's report that you claimed was the basis for you on your own in the middle of this trial, creating and submitting a new report. You claimed that the basis for that was Mr. DeSogra's report of March 5th of 2025.
That is correct.
You waited 2 months to do that?
Again, my initial thoughts were to address it on testimony.
It's not your thoughts. Just, did you wait 2 months?
Just let him finish the answer.
My question, sir, and finish it how you like.
Sure. So
2 months, was it 2 months between March 5th and when you submitted your report on May 8th? Is that 2 months?
yes, it is.
So did you know when this trial was going to start, sir? Generally?
Yes.
Mammy Jammy, thank you for the $5. So just reaching your goal. I think we got it. Do we get the goal? Did we get the goal? Hey, we did. Thank you so much. Should I start a new one? I owe you guys something. Let's
Do you think it's fair to submit a report without anybody asking you in the middle of a trial?
Yes. Sustained.
As we've been discussing, you issued a brand new report, in this case dated May 8th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
That changed your analysis, correct?
No, it did not change my analysis.
Were there changes to your?
All right, since we reached the goal, I will share a embarrassing childhood photo of myself. Do you all want to see that? Since we reached the goal, let me know in the chat if you want to see my embarrassing photo. All right. I'm getting a couple yeses. I'm getting a lot of yeses. All right. Sally Port, thank you for the 20. All right, we're going to show a very embarrassing photo. Now, this is from what year is this? Just going to make sure. 1982. Hang on. I just going to make sure the year is correct. What year was that? Yeah, 1982. Yep, I was spot on. All right, you ready? 1982, Little Brian. Who did Little Brian want to be? Who did Little Brian want to be? 1982. Here we are. I'm trying to be Michael Jackson here. Michael Jackson was my hero. You can see the glove. I got the glove on. I got the shades. It's Little Brian. Look at that. That's Michael Jackson. That's my Michael Jackson. I got the glove. I got the shades. I got the members only jacket with the sleeves rolled up. I mean, everybody got Thriller for Christmas. I think I played that thing over and over and over again. But that's me. And if you lived in Massachusetts, we used to get a channel that was called V66. And that was kind of the alternative to MTV. That was on regular airways, V66. And they used to play music videos on there. All right, let's go back to Man Shannon. Maybe we can get another goal going.
There were clarifications.
Clarifications.
Correct.
Let's address that. In your January 30th, 2025 report, you did not mention TechStream event at all, did you?
No, I did not.
And you didn't mention collision at all, correct?
No, I did not.
And you mentioned both of those now in your May 8th, 2025 report, correct?
I don't know if I've mentioned collision. I'd have to go to my report and look.
But you certainly do mention TechStream events, correct?
Yes, that's
correct. And you labeled them 1162.1 and 1162.2, correct?
Correct.
That's a change from your first report, isn't it, sir?
No, it's not a change. It's a supplement.
Oh, so your definition is that when you add something to a report, it's not a change, it's a supplement?
That is what it is, yes.
Who did you speak to regarding the May 8th, 2025 report before you prepared it?
And no one before I prepared it.
So you just prepared it on your own?
I did.
Did you have any communications at all? I asked you who you spoke with, but did you have any communications at all with either Detective Lieutenant Tully or Buchanan?
So I did reach out to Tully to get a full set of the location data, yes.
So you reached out to Detective Tully.
Of course he did.
Prepared your May 8th report, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Did he tell you that the trial had started in this case?
No, not during that conversation, no.
That's not the first communication you had with Detective Tully, was it?
No, it's not.
How many conversations have you had with Detective Tully?
I would say a handful.
How much is a handful?
I would be speculating, but we'll say 5 to 10.
5 to 10?
Sure.
Is Detective Tully
What if you-
expert at all in digital forensics?
No.
But you've had 5 to 10 conversations with him.
Correct. To get provided information.
At any time has any
Shy checking in. Thank you so much. Shy the realtor, $10. Says, very proud of you, Brian, and how far this channel has come. SC clocking out to finish the BK documentary on Dateline. Yeah. It's I haven't seen that one yet. The new updated documentary. I got to see that. I'm hearing now in that case that there's been major leaks and it's coming into questionability that if this case is going to actually start in August, which is an absolute travesty. It's an absolute travesty. I mean, you look at all those families that have been waiting, especially the Gonzalez. I mean, they're the most public. I know people give them shit left and right, but look, and I said this, listen, if my daughter and my daughter's best friend were murdered the way that they were, I would be screaming at the top of my lungs and standing on the highest step to talk about this constantly. I don't think anything that they've done publicly has been wrong at all. They should be giving every interview. They should be advocating for their daughter. And from what I'm seeing, all this evidence that's starting to come out now, all the unsealed documents, I think they got this guy dead to rights. Sorry. I think Brian Koberger is in a very tight spot. And I know it's not him to explain it, but I'm going to tell you, he's got a lot of explaining to do. They got this guy nailed down so tight on that crime. And again, this is something that I'm going to go back to on this channel. But anyway, let's try to finish up this testimony. Again, thank you all so much for being here with me on this Memorial Day weekend, this Friday night edition of LTL Heat. And we'll wrap this one up in a little bit here. And thank you so much for being with me. Make sure to smash that like button. We're at 43,936. I'm hoping tomorrow morning I can wake up and we're at 43,936. Hopefully by tomorrow morning I wake up and we're at 44,000, which will be phenomenal. 44,000 people on the LTL platform. Who would have thought, right? But consistency is key. And learn along the way and learn what works and what doesn't work. Learn from that. Just keep trying you got to plug away. YouTube is a long game. It's not the short game. If you come in for the short burst and what I say, the money grab, you're coming into this the wrong way. Your mindset has to be different because you will burn out and fade out quick. But if you play it slow and steady, you will win the race. Slow and steady wins the race in the YouTube game. All right, let's go back to Shanon.
Anybody from the Commonwealth had a discussion with you relative to your January 30th, 2025 report or your May 8th, 2025 report about keeping flexible the timelines for any events in this case?
No, sir.
Did you have any discussions at all regarding the May 8th, 2025 report you prepared in the middle of this trial with anyone from the district attorney's office?
I agree, Mary.
Yes.
When did you have those discussions?
That would have been on, probably May 7th when I reached out to Mr. Brennan.
So you reached out to Mr. Brennan on May 7th, 2025, correct?
Correct.
That's before May 8th of 2025, correct?
Correct.
So before you sent that report in, you had a discussion with Mr. Brennan about it, am I correct?
Correct.
What was that discussion about?
That was just a discussion over the data and what the report said.
So you were discussing with Mr. Brennan what was going to be in your report, including data and analysis, correct?
Correct.
Did you tell Mr. Brennan that you were going to be submitting the report shortly to him on May 8th?
Yes.
Did you agree to a time when you would submit that report?
No, I did not.
Did you tell him when you were going to submit it?
No, I did not.
But after the conversation on May 7th, you discussed with him that you had either pretty close to finalizing the report. It's a pretty extensive report, right?
Correct.
So on May 7th, you were pretty well along the way in that report, correct?
Correct.
Did you let Mr. Brennan know that?
Yes.
So he knew the nature of the report. He knew how far along you were with it.
Correct.
Heatherlicious, thank you so much for the super sticker, $10. Thank you.
Did you have any other calls with anybody from the prosecution's office other than that about your May 8th report?
No, I don't believe so.
Did you have any texts with anybody about your May 8th report?
No.
Did you communicate with anybody else about your upcoming May 8th report?
No, I would have provided a copy to Dr. Welcher.
Your colleague?
Correct.
So Dr. Welcher knew you were working on this report, correct?
He knew I submitted the report. I don't know if he knew I was working on the report.
Did he know you were going to submit the report before you submitted it?
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Did he know what was going to be in the report?
Yes, he did.
Did he support the fact that you were going to submit a report in the middle of trial?
I can't speak for Dr. Welcher.
But he knew you were going to do it.
Correct.
Did he say anything, don't do that? Or did he have any comment about the fact you were going to submit it?
Not that I recall off the top of my head.
Not that you recall, so is it possible he did comment on whether you should submit it in the middle of trial?
No, he would not have commented on whether I should have submitted it or not.
How many times in your career, sir, have you submitted a supplemental or amended report in the middle of trial?
Yeah, Chris, that's a good,
This would be the
point.
only one that I recall.
So this is the only time. How many years have you been doing this?
Approximately 10 years.
And so approximately 10 years, this is the first time you've submitted a amended supplemental report in the middle of a trial.
A supplemental report, correct.
As you call it, a supplemental report in the middle of trial.
Correct.
Do you know a person by the name of Ian Whiffen?
Yes, I'm familiar with the name.
You say you're familiar with the name. Are you more than familiar with his name? Are you familiar with his work?
I'm familiar with his report in this case, yes.
So you're familiar with his work if you're familiar with his report, correct?
Correct.
Were you given do you know that Mr. Whiffen has testified in this trial?
No, I do not.
And with regard to Mr. Whiffen's report, did you read it?
Yes, I did read his report.
And that would be of interest to you, correct? That's why you read it?
Correct.
Because Mr. Whiffen's report, and are we talking about Mr. Whiffen's January 2025 report or his March 2025 report? Are you aware there's two of them?
No, I'm not.
Do you know which one you're referring to?
That would be the January report.
So the January 2025 report, are you aware that there's just a couple minor differences between the two reports, or you're just not aware?
I'm not aware of either way.
Assume there's very minor differences with the reports. Mr. Whiffen's reports contain information and some detailed, and they're long reports, right?
Yes, they are.
So Mr. Whiffen's report contains information about the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the location data in Mr. O'Keefe's phone, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the phone calls in Mr. O'Keefe's report, correct?
Correct.
It contains information about the temperature of the battery in the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe, right?
Correct.
It has some timelines in that report, correct?
Correct.
And those timelines have very specific events that are represented in the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone, correct?
Correct.
As a matter of fact, it's got location data and times that you have used in your report and PowerPoint presentation here, correct?
Correct.
When did you receive the report of Mr. Whiffen with regard to the cell phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
So I would have received his report sometime in January.
So 4 months ago, you had the report of Mr. Whiffen with substantial information about the types of databases you can find in the iPhone, location data, health.
Oh, Mizzy, come on. You know he got paid. You know he got paid. Of course he did. That's why he did it. That's why he did it. That's why Brennan gave him the phone call, I bet you.
Well, if you do this, you can make a little extra money for us, and it'll help and work out really well in the trial. Can you do this supplemental report? We'll make sure that you get paid. And even if we have to talk to Aperture, we will.
You know he did.
And if Aperture doesn't want to pay you, I'm sure we can get some payment through the Commonwealth.
You know he did. Of course he got paid.
Health data, phone calls, and a timeline, among other information, correct?
Correct.
You had all that information.
Correct.
And you had GPS location data in that report regarding Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
You know what an SQLite database is?
SQLite? Yes.
SQLite,
Yes.
And an SQLite database is one of the many databases that are contained within an iPhone, including Mr. O'Keefe's iPhone, correct?
Correct.
And you testified on your direct and you had general knowledge about cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And you said you've got certifications with regard to cell phones, correct?
Correct.
And your certifications include being able to read Celebrite and apply the Celebrite tool, correct?
Correct.
And you have certifications that allow you to apply and utilize magnet forensics, like, for example, their Axiom program, correct?
Correct.
And you've done that in your career. You've applied.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine if they want to use Arca. I welcome it. He always says, I welcome it. That's fine. I saw the reports from Arca. I welcome it.
Those tools before this case, correct?
Correct.
And you've applied those tools after your work in this case. You apply them pretty much frequently, correct?
Correct.
So the tools, the databases in an iPhone, and all the location data, etc., that was all information you had and had FASL with back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
And you had access to the SQLite database because you had Mr. Whiffin's report, correct?
Correct. I had the report. Yes.
You had the report. Do you recall on your direct testimony saying that one of the reasons that you did this supplemental report on May 8th was you got new information or more information about Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone?
Yes. Correct.
You had that information through Mr. Whiffin's report back in January of 2025, didn't you, sir?
Correct. I had the report. I did not have the data.
Well, didn't Mr.
And again, he's trying to piece, this is what Alessi's doing. He's piecing this all together, saying, you guys, you're all working together and you took all this information and you worked backwards. It's like the same thing with Hyde and Whiffin. They did their comparative studies. They spoke to each other. They both found the 2:27 a.m. Google search. They knew that it was going to be an issue in this trial. Whiffin has the ties to Celebrite. He goes back to Celebrite and says, oh, well, I got a suggestion for you. We're in a murder trial right now where a very famous Google search is going on, and it pretty much could sink the Commonwealth in that case. Could you do me a favor? Just make an adjustment to your software so it doesn't show that anymore. Oh, okay. So let's extract it again. Oh, it's not there now. This is what's going on with all this stuff.
Whiffin's report discussed location in a pretty detailed manner?
Yes, it did.
And didn't he use GPS location data in that report?
Yes, he did.
Exactly.
And you had that in January 4 months ago, correct?
Correct.
And you read it 4 months ago.
Correct.
Yet you still submitted a report on May 8th in the middle of this trial, correct?
Correct.
That's sick. That's sick.
Are you familiar with a digital forensic analyst named Jessica Hyde?
I am familiar with the name, yes.
Isn't it amazing?
You know she's working on.
I just brought up her name. Look at this, right? It's all starting to all tie in.
This case on behalf of the Commonwealth.
Yes, I think I have heard that in conversations.
Have you read any of her reports?
You're right, Mary.
No, I have not.
So you're aware she's working on the case, but you're not aware of whether she's issued reports in this case.
Correct.
So you're not aware whether she has issued reports that mention about GPS location data, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever ask for her reports?
No, I did not.
Did anybody ever tell you or comment to you whether your analysis is consistent or inconsistent with the reports of Mr. Whiffin or Ms. Hyde?
No.
Did you watch their testimony in this trial?
No, I did not.
Did you learn of their testimony in this trial?
No, I did not.
Did anyone from law enforcement or any other aspect of the Commonwealth provide you with any summary of their testimony?
No, they did not.
But you had access to Mr. Whiffin's report with regard to his analysis and the data from Mr. O'Keefe's cell phone back in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
having read Mr. Whiffin's January 2025 report, you know that his report contains statements about movement and other activity of Mr. O'Keefe's phone after your time period in your original report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
No, not after the time period. No.
Let's take a look at that.
Sure.
Let's take a look at your January 30th, 2025 report.
I wonder what the heart rate is on his fucking Apple Watch right now. It's just his fucking heartbeats coming out of his neck. Oh, can you imagine his heart rate right now on his Apple Watch? Oh.
Well, we'll come back to that. I'll do that in an order that makes a little bit more logical sense. You've mentioned
Ashley checking in. She said, "I'm glad that you brought up Dwayne Deaver in the Kathleen Peterson case. I haven't been this disgusted with experts since I watched the Michaels trial. I love his attorneys. Yeah, I'm telling you, watch The Staircase. It'll blow your mind. It's on Netflix. It's still there. I actually refreshed myself with that because of the same similar situation with, fabricating evidence. It's something you got to go watch. It's like a 11 or 12 part series, but it's well worth the watch. And they literally start filming it in like 2001. And then it goes like all the way up to like 2015. It's called The Staircase. Yes, it's on Netflix.
And just to cover the foundational parts, that you're not the only employee of Aperture that's been hired to testify as a witness on behalf of the Commonwealth in this trial, correct?
Correct.
Your colleague, Dr. Judson Welcher, has also been retained by the Commonwealth through Aperture, correct?
That is correct.
Dr. Welcher is a biomechanical engineer, correct?
Correct.
Do you know whether Dr. Welcher holds any professional certifications?
I do not know.
Does Dr. Welcher's expertise extend beyond your own?
It is a different discipline than my own, yes.
So it's a different discipline. So it could be horizontally extended, and it also can be vertically extended depending upon the subject matter?
Sure.
That's a fair statement?
Sure.
Your colleague, Dr. Welcher, who is an engineer, did opine on the timing of the tech stream event 1162-2 in his report of January 30th, 2025, correct?
Okay. The objection sustained.
I'll reword it, Your Honor. Do you know whether Dr. Welcher opined on the timing of tech stream event 1162-2 in his January 30th, 2025 report?
Yes.
So you do know.
Yes.
What is the timing of the tech stream event 1162-2 in the January 30th report of Dr. Welcher, your colleague?
Objection. So why don't I see you at sidebars?
May I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for your patience, Mr. Burgess. You're aware that Dr. Welcher created a PowerPoint presentation with regard to his work in January of 2025, correct?
Correct.
Did you ever discuss that work with Dr. Welcher that he was doing?
No, I did not.
Did you ever review any of his work at any point, including up to the point where you're sitting on the stand today?
I have reviewed the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's presentation.
Okay. In the slides that are included in Mr. DeSogra's report those slides you're referring to are the slides of Dr. Welcher, your colleague, correct?
Correct.
And the slides that are in Mr. DeSogra's report about Dr. Welcher discuss that.
So I want to clear something up. The gentleman that is sitting next to Robert Alessi, that is a student lawyer. And there has been a lot of conflicting about this because someone's trying to say that it's someone that works for the DA. That wouldn't make sense that he would be sitting on the defense side. He wouldn't be sitting in the defense side. That's a student lawyer. One of the lawyers that David Yannetti brought in to help with this case. So I want to clear all that up for everybody. Let's see. Loving Animals, thank you for the 10. Says your spanky voice is the best part of my day. Thank you for all the endless hard work and free Karen Reed and free Turtle Boy. All right, let's go.
Slide discusses the 1162-2 tech stream event, correct?
Correct.
So you have looked at, albeit through Mr. DeSogra, you have looked at the slide that Dr. Welcher had in his report regarding the tech stream event 1162-2, correct?
Correct.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
May I have this marked as the next exhibit for identification, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
AAA for identification.
Thank you. May I present it to the witness?
Yes.
Thank you. May I remain here for a few questions?
Sure.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Burgess, if
Yes.
you could take a look at what has been marked for identification is AAA and tell me, once you've had a fair opportunity to look at it, whether you recognize that slide.
Yes, I do recognize that slide.
And sir, what do you recognize that slide as?
So it is a slide that states a number of times associated with TechStream event 1162-2, which would be the second event.
And did you consider this exhibit AAA in your preparation of a response to Mr. DeSogra's March 5th, 2025 presentation?
Yes, I did.
I offer this into evidence, Your Honor, AAA for identification.
Okay.
I'd like to put the whole report in.
I like to put the whole report in.
Your Honor, I have no need to put the report's 143 pages.
So I'm going to let this in, and I haven't decided yet about the whole 143 pages. Okay?
Fair enough, Your Honor. And I re-offer it into evidence, Your Honor.
Yes.
188.
Could someone provide?
Nick Rocco checking in. So wait, the guy sitting down next to Alessi there wasn't brought in by Yannetti. Nick, my assumption of what I heard that's a student lawyer. Am I correct or am I incorrect on that? I come correct if I'm wrong, but from what I heard, that's one of the student lawyers. Am I right or am I wrong? I mean, you've been sitting in court a lot more than I have. We'll just square it all up. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can admit fault. Corey's saying it's the appellate guy, the appeal guy. Let's see what Nick says. Nick will know. Nick's been in there. Yeah, I'm wrong. It's fine. I admit fault when I'm wrong. Caleb Schillinger. Let's see. That doesn't look anything like him. You sure it's that guy? I don't see it. I'm looking at the photo and it doesn't. I don't know. Nick said he's a Commonwealth attorney who files appeal against the Karen team. Okay. That guy right there is that guy? That don't look like him at all. The dude sitting in court looks like something from fucking AI. He literally looks like he looks like AI. He doesn't look like that photo. All right. I come corrected. I'm wrong. I'm wrong. It looks like Mark Zuckerberg.
Provide me with that 143 page today, please.
Sorry, what you're asking?
For a copy for me of that 143 pages before we leave today.
Before we leave, we'll get it, Your Honor.
Thank you.
One way or another. Thank you.
Yes.
You can, please.
Hold on, was it marked?
It was, it's 188.
What number?
Okay, I got you. Thank you, Nick.
May I present it back to the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
You wrong. I'm going to tell you right now, that has nothing to do with Vinny. It's all the producers. Katie checking it says, Nick Rocco, please get Vinny to get rid of DePietro off the TV every night. The guy is a joke with his bulging eyes, bobbling head, and stupid pointing finger motions. I agree, but that's not Vinny doesn't make that choice. It's producers. Al says he was wrong once. All right, let's finish up this testimonies.
Sir, you now have what is in evidence as Exhibit 188 for identification.
Oh, I want to do something at the end of this too, because I'm going to fucking prove my point here. And I want to make sure we put someone in check tonight.
I draw your attention, and this is the slide that you considered in responding to Mr. DeSogra, correct?
In response to Mr. DeSogra's analysis of this slide, yes, correct.
And this slide, to be clear, is a slide prepared by your colleague at Aperture, Dr. Judson Welcher, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Sir, could you please read the time that Dr. Welcher states for the when infotainment trigger 1162.2 occurred?
So that would be text stream trigger, just for clarification, but yes, I can.
Well, let's go to that. You use the parlance text stream trigger. Dr. Welcher uses infotainment trigger, but it's 1162.2. You both use 1162.2, correct?
Correct, and I think that may be a misunderstanding of how he's worded it.
Well, Your Honor, I'd actually move to strike that about what Dr. Welcher. I'm just going to what the document says.
I'm just going to leave it, but go on.
Thank you, Your Honor. So the document says that the infotainment trigger 1162.2 occurred at approximately 12:31:38, correct?
Correct.
And that it ended at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
So we've got the trigger, according to Dr. Welcher, as of recently as January 30th, 2025, starting at 12:31:38 and ending at 12:31:43, correct?
Correct, according to the Lexus clock.
Right.
Yes.
So now let's go down to what says below. Per report from Ian Whiffen, O'Keefe's cell phone data showed, quote, most notably, all device lock events, including the final lock event at 12:32:09, were user initiated by the user pressing the side button briefly. You see that, sir?
I do.
And did I read that correctly?
You did, with the caveat, that's according to the iPhone clock.
Right. But in any event, that's what Dr. Welcher states on his slide, correct?
Correct.
Do you know, sir, that the iPhone data reported by Mr. Whiffen that you read, that Dr. Welcher references, do you know that report of Ian Whiffen says there was an end of a health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43?
Yes.
And you know that?
Yes, with the caveat, those clocks have not been adjusted.
But you know that there was a end of health event of 36 steps covering a distance of 84 feet that ended at 12:32:16, which is after 12:31:43, correct?
Correct.
Just stating the comparison. So now what I'd like to do is to move on with regard to the analysis. So, in Dr. Welcher wrote this. The slide he presented is dated January 30th of 2025, correct?
It's not dated here.
It's not dated.
Yes.
Do you know that Dr. Welcher created a report of January 30th, 2025?
I do know he created a report. Correct.
Right, and that's the same date as your report, correct? Your first report.
Correct.
So you both submitted your reports on the same date. They're both dated the same, at least, correct?
Yes, if they're both dated the same, yes.
Yes. Are you familiar with the concept of pocket state in iPhones?
I am familiar through Mr. Whiffen's report.
Okay. You said you've read Mr. Whiffin's report, correct?
Correct.
So you know that Mr. Whiffin states that there was a pocket state detected on the iPhone of Mr. O'Keefe at 12:33:14, correct?
Objection.
So the same, I'm going to strike it, do it the same way, Mr. Alessi, okay?
I will, Your Honor. Thank you. Are you aware of whether Mr. Whiffin has put in the report you read a timestamp for detecting pocket states of Mr. O'Keefe? Are you aware of that in the report at all?
I am aware of that in the report, yes.
Do you know when Mr. Whiffin has noted a pocket state detected of Mr. O'Keefe's phone? Do you know?
So, Mr. Alessi, why don't you show it to me?
That's what I was going to do. I will, Your Honor. And if we could put it, we've got it, that's already in evidence on the screen.
Okay.
It's already in evidence in screen.
So are you talking about Mr. Whiffin's report? Or
Correct. Well, you know what? I'm going to show him the report, Your Honor. I'll do it the way you suggest. Sir, do you recall the specific time that Mr. Whiffin has stated pocket states detected for the phone of Mr. O'Keefe?
No, I have not.
If I showed you a report of Mr. Whiffin, might that refresh your recollection as to when Mr. Whiffin has stated pocket state detected? Would that help?
Yes.
Yes, sir. I'm going to endeavor to do that. If I can have a moment, Your Honor, I have it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Real quick, I just did a quick Google, so if people don't understand, pocket on an iPhone can refer to a few different things. It could mean accidentally activating the phone in your pocket, or it could refer to the app pocket used for saving articles or later. To prevent accidental screen activation in your pocket, you can disable tap or wake and rise to wake features on your iPhone setting. Alternatively, pocket could refer to an app pocket, which has allowed users to save articles, videos, and other content to read later on their phone. So it's referring to accidentally activating your phone in your pocket. Pocket state. Microdots checking in. Oh, by the way, shop Microdots, please, and buy some of their awesome merch and gear to support what they're doing over there. And by the way, I got one of your posters too. The what poster was it? I have it. I literally have it. I just haven't unwrapped it yet. The one you offer on your website. I have that. I'm just gonna get it framed in here. We're gonna have that up on the wall. But please shop Microdots, the wild animal ones. Yes, I got the biggest one they have. I'm gonna have it. I gotta put a frame on it. I'm gonna get it up on the wall in here. Yes, but please shop the old Microdots, and it sits right there. If I can get it in frame. Where'd I have it? I had it over here. Over there, over here. But now we drink. I used to drink out of a solo cup. Now we drink out of the Microdots cup, the mug. So good stuff. I got to get you to sign that poster. I want it signed by you. I want you to sign it. You got to come up to the studio sometime, man. I got to have you in here. All right, let's finish this one up, and then I want to do a little John DePietro, and I'm gonna fucking show that guy. Fucking show that guy a thing or two, because he's on my shit list right now. I'm done with him. Fucking guy showing up late. I'm just gonna casually stroll in 10:30 in the morning during a sidebar. Fuck off, all right? Because Jess Machado or Aiden was in there. They'd be there right there at 9 o'clock, fucking ready to report. All right, let's go. Yeah, I want to bring Richie in here someday.
I have it, Your Honor. If you have it.
Whenever you're ready, buddy, you let me know. Get in here. Come sit at the big table. feeling it. I think this is it. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it.
I've got an agreement of sorts with Mr. Brennan. Could I proceed, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what are 2 pages out of the report of Mr. Whiffen that you referenced, and we've been discussing about pocket state.
Sure.
And this one here, if you just read this line, because it's the heading, and then the next page, and tell me, sir, with reference to this entry right here, if that refreshes your recollection with regard to a column of pocket state with regard to the phone of Mr. and whether it refreshes your recollection on any comments Mr. Whiffen made about pocket state.
Objection.
I'm going to see you tied back for 2 minutes on this. Okay.
All right, let's talk about John DePietro here really quick. Oh yeah, here we go. There's the Microdots mug right there. I'm gonna play this. If y'all haven't seen this motherfucker, and I've had it with him. Let's just pull this one up. So this is on TV's channel. Fucking Aiden. Aiden snuck up on him the other day. But I want to make my overall point. So I'm going to use some of the material here in this video. Let me play through this.
Karen, was OJ framed? Was OJ framed, Karen?
OJ framed, Karen?
Was there blood in the Bronco? What other killers are you supporting?
This guy's a piece of shit. Oh, fuck. I can't play this. I gotta, because of the fucking, when Aiden starts talking. When he starts talking, I'll turn it up. Here we go.
Fuck.
John, why do you lie every day?
I'm live right now.
Why do you lie every day?
Oh,
You go in
no,
there and you lie. We read your tweets. You're misrepresenting what's happening there. No, you're lying. You're lying, John. How much are they paying you to lie?
Now, hold on. Listen, Turtle. All right. Do I have to get? You're not supposed to be doing this. This is supposed to be the buffer zone. You're not supposed to be doing this.
Doing what?
And on top of it, you're interrupting.
You don't like when people ask questions?
Right now.
You ask Karen Reed questions.
I'm live read right now.
So you're allowed to ask questions, but I'm not?
Yeah, but she's not broadcasting and I am. So
no, I'm broadcasting.
Trooper.
This
individual to move along instead of interrupting. So you can check that. It's actually a policy that you're not supposed to interrupt a broadcast.
Oh, is it, John? Oh, is it? And he goes, you can check that out. Well, I did. I checked it out. Okay? I checked it out for you there, John. And I'm going to tell you. And by the way, this fucking guy gets no views on his channel. It's like 900 views when he does a live. 900 views. 800 views. Oh, don't worry. I fucking got you, buddy. Are you sure about that? In the United States, there isn't a policy that prohibits the public from interrupting a broadcasting content. The Federal Communications FCC, which regulates broadcasting, operates under the principle of promoting free expression and diverse viewpoints. The FCC role is, in this context, is not to dictate how the public should understand broadcasts, but rather to ensure diversity of voices and perspectives that are available on the airways. So there is no fucking policy. There is no fucking law. Okay? You can check into it there, Johnny boy. And I tweeted at him the other day and said he's a fucking liar again. Hey, John DePietro, you're lying again. Remember when you told the turtle, Doc Turtle Boy, that there was a policy against interrupting a broadcast? Well, I took your advice and I looked it up and turned out there's no such fucking policy. Okay? There's no policy. So fuck him. And we'll finish this out.
So, all right, you can keep filming me like that.
Yeah.
So with your glasses.
Right, you can.
So why don't you
can fucking film like that? Because it's there's no law. He's out in public, he can be filmed.
go tell them that you want them and their families to burn to death in their homes? Okay, that is certainly the words of a domestic terrorist.
I don't want that.
Yes, you do want that.
No, not at all.
Now listen, I've asked you 4 times, and you can look it up. You're not supposed to interrupt the broadcast.
No,
You
you're a
go over
fucking
there and do
liar.
that. I'm live right now. right? And he is coming over and interrupting broadcasts. And I'm actually on the radio, and there's a
Big
policy
fucking deal.
that you're not supposed to interrupt someone doing a broadcast like this. So could you ask him to move along?
Well, I was just trying to ask him a question.
No, he's interrupting. You can wait till I'm done at 2 o'clock. You can wait till I'm done at 2 o'clock.
Am I not allowed to ask him a question?
No.
I mean, I'm trying to start it.
Yes, you are trying to start something. As he's filming.
Well, I'm not the one that got the police.
I'll talk to you at 2 o'clock.
We don't want to make a big deal.
I definitely don't want to make a big deal.
You are going to make a big deal.
Well, okay, John. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'll get going. But I mean, what the heck, John? I mean, I'm just asking a question.
Why don't you go ask when someone's doing a live broadcast?
Because he asked Karen Reed the other day on the way into court. He asked her about OJ. Remember, you asked her about OJ. You go, was OJ framed?
Yes.
So he can ask questions to Karen Reed, but I can't ask questions to him.
She wasn't broadcasting.
That doesn't fucking matter.
I know that all your fans are down there.
Well, what law says that I can't ask a journalist? I can't ask a journalist. Okay, John.
Don't worry. There's no one watching you, John. Don't worry.
I don't want to talk to him. He's a domestic terrorist.
Domestic terrorist. Fucking loser. Yeah, and look at his fucking 1980s website. I love how this guy talks about himself, too. He talks about himself in the third person. John DePietro is a Northeast award-winning talk show host, recognized and nationalized by Talkers Magazine as one of the top 100 in the country. DePietro provides commentary for Court TV on the recent Karen Reed trial, and he frequently seen inside the courtroom. This is what this motherfucker is leading with now. He hasn't been there. You fucking showed up last trial like twice. And now that you're there every day, oh, you're the big fucking Karen Reed correspondent now. You're the big Karen Reed correspondent. And I would think as an award fucking winning journalist, you would fucking look into some of the information and things that you talk about. You fucking spew lies all day long, bro. You're lying. You got caught the other day when I caught you about Dr. Wolf's testimony, when you literally said, you testified to frozen hard ground. He never said that, bro. I have the video up on my channel. Check it out. Check it out. I mean, you're in there and you're lying about testimony. Do you think that's a good service to the public, that you're being relied on as a journalist inside that courtroom? And you're literally lying about what's going on inside the courtroom? That's not journalistic integrity. That's you being a piece of shit. So this shit drives me crazy. I can't fucking stand people like this, because he wants a piece of the pie. Oh, I'm the big fucking Karen Reed correspondent now. Oh, I'm all over Court TV. Fuck you. You're a nobody. You're a nobody, bro. Let's get some real journalists in there. Like, why is Aiden not back in there? Oh, what? The randomizer. Why is Jess Machado not in there? Oh, the randomizer. We're going to talk about that on Wednesday when Jess comes back, 8 p.m. With our weekly check-in with Jess. But I can't fucking stand this stuff. I can't with that guy. And Grant has been in there 100% of the time. Statistically, it would not happen. A randomizer. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. I'm tired of this fucking guy. No one listens to you. No one cares. He's up there and he's going, Shannon Burgess is going to be up and testifying next. This is a great witness for the Commonwealth. Is it really? You literally just saw him get eviscerated for fucking 2 hours. And you're saying this guy's credible and he's a great witness for the Commonwealth? You got to be fucking kidding me. What trial are you watching? But this is what these people do. They just get in and they play the opposite side. But deep down inside, this motherfucker knows in his head that Karen Reed is 100% innocent. It's the same thing with all the other people. Yellow Cottage Tales, all those fucking people. I'm telling you, they probably pick up the phone and they're like, oh my God, she's so innocent. But let's play the rebel and play this side. Okay? Fucking can't stand it. Anyway, that's going to be it tonight, everybody. That is LTL Friday Night Heat. It's late. Fuck, it is late. I'm going to close up shop here. I hope everybody has a safe and wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I will be back here on Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with Jason Broyles, that goes by the name on Twitter, not Haley Walbrecht. And you can check me out there. And then we'll be back on Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the weekly windup with retired Mass State Police Todd McGee and attorney Nan Gallagher. And then Wednesday, we'll have Jess back on and we'll get into all this John DePietro shit again. So this shit drives me crazy. It drives me wild. You know, I'm someone here that has tried multiple times over and over and over again to get my press credentials to be able to sit in during some of this trial, to be able to go into a courtroom and report to actually what's going on there. And I constantly get denied. But fucking assholes like that, clowns like John DePietro, they just give them press credentials because what? He got a couple awards through a fucking magazine. I mean, I can't. So anyway, that's going to be it. Everybody be safe. I'll talk to everybody soon. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope tomorrow we can wake up and we're at 44,000 subscribers. Please go over and support Microdots. Get some of the merch there. I mean, it's probably the best merch out of any creator. And I'm not just saying that because you're in the room, Richie, but your shit's fucking on point, dude. And I don't know how I say this to him all the time. I don't know how your brain works like that, but you have this amazing artistic vision and has been a true inspiration to me, just like everybody that watches your content. I don't know. It just, there's certain things in people's brains that just work that way, and you've got it, dude. Like you have it. You have the visual aspects of all this stuff, and it's pretty fucking awesome. It's tight, dude. You've got it down. So, anyway, that's going to be it. I'm going to get out of here. Wrap show up tonight. Thank you all so much for being here. Continue to do things that you want to do in life, because you can do anything. Whatever that goal is, put yourself, make a goal for yourself, because you only got one chance in life to do this. And I want everybody to achieve their goals and dreams. I am living it right now, and I'm truly blessed in this moment in time. And if it just, whatever length of time this lasts for, I'm going to enjoy the ride. So thank you all so much. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I have a couple of videos. Go back and watch them. Go watch the John DePietro video where I catch him on Dr. Wolf's testimony. You can watch it right after this. And again, I'll be back on Sunday. Tomorrow I'm off. And then I have Sunday and Monday off, which is going to be great to be able to relax and hang out and do things that I want to do over the long weekend. All right, everybody, take care. I love you all. Thank you for all your contributions tonight. Talk to you soon. Bye.